Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a special live edition of the Speak On It podcast. I am your host, Big Mike. We are here. We are going to do our weekly show live tonight because normally I say it's been a wild week in sports. It's been a wild day in sports, and we had to come on live to chop it up and talk about it. I'm going to run the three-man weave tonight. You know I can't do it alone. The Mad Producer Podcast Poppy in the building.
It finally happened.
And we've got my man Breezy in the building. AKA Breezy equals Will Smith.
Yes. Hello, guys.
Season's not off season. Season hasn't started yet.
Season 3. How's it going?
Yeah, is this your first appearance, season 3?
Yes.
First appearance.
We've been doing all football. And James has been on his mini vacation, and then
you know what? This is actually not my first.
No, this is your second. You were on episode 1 for like 10 minutes.
This is my third, actually.
Third.
I was also on the draft that I was supposed to be hosting.
Does that count as season 3?
Technically, kind of.
Okay, there we go.
Mid-season, I don't know what you want to call it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah,
James is here. And like I said, you know he's here. We're not talking football because we got to start with the big news of sports today. Damian Lillard traded today to the Milwaukee Bucks in a 3-team deal where a whole bunch of pieces have been moved. But mainly, Dame is going to Milwaukee. The Blazers, they got Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, some picks, and some other guy that I don't want to be disrespectful, but doesn't matter. And the Suns got a bench.
The Suns did get a bench, but now the Suns also have a lineup of 3 of their 5 guys don't play basketball, so this is gonna be great.
So we've got movement here. So I mean,
shout out to Phoenix for dumping that DeAndre Ayton contract.
Boss moves.
Because they cleared up in just the swap for Nurkic itself. That alone was 16 mil.
And Nurkic for Ayton is not as big as a drop as people think.
It's just Nurkic doesn't play basketball.
Yeah, if Nurkic is healthy, listen, that's a big move.
And neither one of them play defense, so it's not like it changed.
Yeah.
But Phoenix getting, I hate this man, but Grayson Allen is a very good pickup for them. Nasir Little is a very good pickup for them, too.
Nasir Little's a good pickup for them. Well, Dylan's going to jump right into it, so I'll open it. But, I mean, obviously, Dame's the biggest name, and we don't know what's going to happen with Drew Holiday, but first reaction, who do you think won the trade?
Milwaukee. Milwaukee wins the trade because they get rid of a guy who they couldn't get to score in big moments in the playoffs for 3 years, right? Outside of the Brooklyn series in 2020, right? Where it wasn't even that series. It was outside of overtime in that series. Overtime in Game 7 where he just made 4 straight shots. He hasn't done anything offensively in the playoffs. What was it? Not last postseason, the 2 postseasons ago when I was still at the temporary house, where Anthony was like, yo, I need more out of Drew Holiday. I'm like, what more are you supposed to get out of Drew Holiday? He's giving you exactly what he gives you. He's your main POA defender. He's going to facilitate your offense. He's going to give you maybe 18, and that's what you're going to get out of him. Right? That's all you can get. If you're looking for anything more, that's a reach. And that's been the problem for many a year now. Now you go and you get a closer. Middleton is supposed to be their closer, but Middleton last year wasn't really healthy, and the year before didn't play. Right? So now you upgrade from Drew Holiday to Dame. You get yourselves one of the, best 10, 15 players in basketball, one of the best players ever. A guy who could shoot the ball forever. You got a guy where Giannis could kind of just chill back. because Dame could give you 60 on any given night. Dame finally gets like a team because getting rid of Drew Holiday and Grayson Allen, those guys, cool, right? You're cool with letting those guys go because you still have a core
You
five, and I'm
still
sure
have Dame, Giannis, Portis,
Brooke
Middleton, Brooke
Lopez,
Lopez,
Jamison or Jay Crowder, like you still have a team.
Milwaukee.
They fielded
came up.
they went and made a competitive team, the team in the East with this. And like they still got to keep a rotation. They still got guys. And again, they replaced Drew Holiday with Dame Lillard in that starting five where like he's going to see Brooke Lopez defend 2 like shots at the rim and just cry. It's like he's not going to know what to do himself. He goes, "Oh my God, they play defense here."
He's going to go to the bench and see them still score and cry.
I'm very interested in how they're going to stagger the minutes. Right? I would love to see like obviously Giannis play at the 5 a few times and have him and Dame be the main pick and roll guys. But it's also like, okay, cool, Giannis, we can still leave Dame on. We can leave him with Brooke or put Bobby out there and see how you're gonna rotate it. I think it's a fantastic trade for Milwaukee, and I wouldn't say it came out of nowhere, but like it was refreshing to not see it be Miami.
Unk has entered the chat, fellas.
It's good, Unk. Good, Unk. But it was refreshing not to see Miami be the destination. After all it's only Miami, it's only Miami, it's only Miami. It was refreshing to that it wasn't.
I mean, I was very interested to see how him and Jimmy would have worked. I wouldn't have been
worried about that. They would have figured it out.
But I mean, I'm glad Miami didn't get it too, because I mean, Jimmy Butler is one of my 3 favorite players in the league. But let's not be confused here. The Knicks Heat rivalry is a real thing. I really do not like the Heat, so I'm happy that the Heat didn't get this. Milwaukee getting it is interesting. I mean, Milwaukee is still.
I'd hate to be a player in the East right now.
Everybody in the East just went, whoa.
I think if Boston puts themselves in the spot to where they get Drew Holiday, that makes things very difficult because then you get rid of Defense Player of the Year Marcus Smart for a guy who's arguably better than Marcus Smart to be their point guard.
But what would they have to give up to get Drew, though? That's the problem.
Draft picks.
That's the problem. What they got left?
Well, they also have Malcolm Brogdon. That Malcolm Brogdon is supposedly like
he's supposed to be here. He's supposed to be their point guard now, though.
But he's up to here with them. He is not happy with Boston right now, from what I've been reading. He's been having beef with them for a little bit. So Brogdon is probably out of here.
That would make things very interesting in Boston.
I think if the Blazers keep Drew Holiday, I think the Blazers won the trade.
That's if, but they've already come out and be like, all these reports have come out and already been like, yeah, they're trying to move him.
I think the Blazers win the trade if they keep him because, A, they got a pure point guard now. And if Anthony Simon stays, he's not going nowhere. He's their 2 guard. And you got DeAndre Ayton. And they still got all their young guys like Sheldon Sharp and all that stuff like that. And they really didn't. They gave up Damian Lillard that was gonna go anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Milwaukee Bucks. They you talk about playoff points, but you lose a core defender during the playoffs as well. And you talk about how you want it. Oh, we want Giannis to be the guy or to step up and everything like that. If he doesn't have it in him to step up to guard the best defender, you ain't, as much as everybody want to look at Jay Crowder as a 3-and-D guy, he ain't no PJ Tucker, he ain't no Drew Holiday, he ain't no Marcus Smart.
In the defense, though,
when
Drew Holiday
supposedly Lillard,
sorry.
Yeah, no, but when you get Dame Lillard, you get more offense, but you lose the defensive factor to get stops.
My rebuttal there is this guy right here is supposed to be like the POA guy, and he let Jimmy Butler average like 40 on him.
Who else was gonna do it?
Jimmy was cooking.
I mean, he was cooking him. So it's like,
Yeah,
if we're just going to use that, I know it's a small sample size, but
Very
like if
small.
we're going to, it's a very small sample size, but if we're just going to go exactly what I was saying, Holiday got cooked by the Heat dudes. So if you could take away that defense, let's say Dame does the same exact thing defensively and gets cooked 50 on him, at least he's going to give you 30, where Drew Holiday was barely giving you 15 to 20.
That is true.
Mhm.
So you do get a little bit more competitive on that side of the ball, because ultimately
True.
in that series, Milwaukee couldn't score.
True. But I also say this to
But I
that.
agree with
is
you
that-
very much so.
What I say to that is this. Yeah, he may not give you the extra 15 points to get to 30, but he gets you that stop. Maybe he gets you that stop because he does play defense. Yeah, he might get 40 put on him, but he may still get that stop. That's the factor that Drew Holiday has, because he is a big guard and he has a very defensive mind with being all defense, all-star, champion, should have been defensive player of the year.
Yep.
So
It's a double-edged sword. It's all right, cool. Do you get the stop or do you want the points? That's where it's a little iffy.
because you don't, if you're trading buckets, it doesn't matter at that point in time. It's 0-0. And if the other team is up and you're trading buckets, you're losing.
Yeah, but
You
they
gotta
weren't
get a
trading
stop.
buckets. They were just giving up buckets. Especially when Giannis was getting, especially in that game, game 5, 6?
No, the game in
The
Milwaukee.
meltdown? Yeah, the meltdown game of Giannis where he couldn't get a bucket and he was fouling and he was just in trouble. Couldn't hit free throws. They couldn't buy a bucket.
And
That's where they would have
my
needed
rebuttal
it,
to
man.
James is simply this comment.
Dame is a dog.
Dame's a dog.
But it's a much better situation than like Anthony. Whenever these trade, I'm surprised Anthony hasn't said anything about this trade, really,
He's been
because
I don't know.
very quiet. Because every time somebody makes a trade, he immediately says they're the team to beat, right? And defense is very important. But Milwaukee as a team plays very good team defense, and I think that is going to hide a lot of the perimeter stuff, especially if they do the old Rudy Gobert thing, where it's like, hey, we're going to kind of try to funnel these guys, hold what we can on the perimeter, but funnel them to Brook, who's just going to keep his hands up and block.
And he was very good at that last year.
And he was very good at that last year.
Arguably had a case for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Absolutely.
He did. So it's very, I love the dynamic. I think it works. I think it saves Milwaukee in the long run, because all these reports of Giannis being like, if it's not in Milwaukee, then I'm out.
And Dame is still signed for another 3 years.
Yeah, Dame is locked in. So if Giannis were to leave now after they went and got Giannis, then after they went and got Dame, then it's like he was never going to stay. He never wanted to be there. So now that's why I think Milwaukee wins this, because you just fixed it long term.
Dame blow
Maybe.
up.
Yeah, and they're just terrible, but I don't think so.
I doubt it, because Dame.
Unless Dame gets mad that his brothers are on the team.
Both of them don't seem like those type of dudes. So.
If Dame didn't do it in Portland, where he probably would have gotten away with it, where it was at this point over a decade, and he's just doing things by himself and just nothing's working on. He didn't throw a fit once there. I don't think he's going to throw a fit here. But you take, by them going to get Dame, you take Giannis off the books for anybody else.
Maybe what else?
You make sure nobody else can try to get in unless Giannis is really out. And Miami was a team to watch. Where obviously Miami's going to be linked to everything here going forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Miami was a team to watch for Dame and Giannis next year, just in case. Now you potentially get them both off and Miami's scrambling. Because Miami's whole game plan was, we're going to do nothing. We're going to let everybody we have walk, and we're going to try to trade the scraps that we have for Dame.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, Portland, kudos to Portland for not just bending the knee to the Dame requests and the stuff for the agent. Be like, we only want to go here. And he's like, no, I'm going to field all my offers and I'm going to do what I can.
And in the end, they still did right by Dame because Dame went to the team with the best record in the league last year.
Went to a contender who didn't have to send their whole roster like Miami would have, because their team would have been Dame, Jimmy, and Bam. They would have had nothing else, and they would have had gotten a third team to facilitate to find somebody who wanted Tyler Hero's contract. And at the end of the day, I'm glad it wasn't Miami, because then the Nets were going to be involved to take on fucking Tyler Hero's contract. And I don't want Tyler Hero.
But he's better than RJ Barrett.
They both stink.
Oh.
I don't want either one of them.
Lies.
I don't want either one of them.
Lies.
So it's like, cool, keep me out of that. But it just makes the James Harden situation something to be very aware of.
This James Harden situation
it's gonna blow up.
It just revved up another level now because their media day is Monday.
Yeah, Monday. And he's not allowed to go.
And he's not going, because think of all the teams that's out there. He's not going to Portland. He's not going to Milwaukee.
What if he does go to Portland? He doesn't have a no trade clause.
But what is Portland?
He's only on a 1-year deal.
Well, what is Portland going to give Philly?
Portland gives him Drew Holiday.
That's not enough.
Yeah, it is. If you're trying to get rid of James Harden, they're going to probably do James Harden a first. Get him out.
Why would they do that when they have Simons on the team?
Because you're just eating it for a year.
That's a waste of ass. I
wouldn't do it. You gain an asset if you're getting James. You're getting rid of Drew Holiday because they didn't get any draft capital in this trade, right? So you could attach whatever Philly has left in draft capital to have them eat James Harden, because they're gonna take on James Harden and probably buy him out. You take on some draft capital, you get rid of a guy you didn't want on the team. Because Drew Holiday still, I think, has 2 years left on his contract. So they would have had to pay out both years in order to keep Drew, if they wanted to buy him out. So you gain draft capital, you take on James Harden, you're like, we'll just pay you, go wherever the fuck you want. Philly gets better. Honestly, defensive-wise, they get better because then you get somebody who could actually guard Dame or do a decent job guarding Dame. You keep him out of Boston, because that's the other team you need to worry about guarding Dame, like being a player there. I think it makes sense to do that than doing the Clippers trade and you get like 3 role players.
I don't know. I don't know if I don't know what that, like, I hear what you're saying and it makes sense. I just don't know if I'm Portland, if I want to just get James Harden. Like, do I need capital that bad? Because what you're saying is we're just getting him to buy him out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're trading.
Why wouldn't
we're trading for draft picks? And
I'm them,
because
if you see Drew Holiday move, I don't see them getting another player. I think they're just doing it to clear him out, and to get assets. When you know you're not in a position to compete, why try to make yourself competitive, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think you get worse getting rid of James. Like, this team that they have now is going to be a fun young team. This is going to be a great team for League Pass, right? The Blazers, the Magic, the Thunder are all going to be on League Pass and all just be balling out, and it's going to be fun to watch. They'll be great to see.
Thunder better than all of them.
Thunder are better than all of them, but they're going to be on League Pass. They're not going to be in a lot of primetime games. They're going to be on League Pass. Bam. It's not.
I mean, he's not getting traded. But I did bring it up earlier about the Knicks getting Drew Holiday, because I think he fits the Knicks also. I think he'd
be great if he didn't have Brunson already.
I think you could run both of them at the same time.
I don't think it would make sense because
Brunson can play off ball, and so can Drew. They both can.
Drew,
but they both can. Like, Drew doesn't need the ball.
But
He's
Drew also
shown
doesn't
that.
score. So we're going to put in a solid rotational spot for a guy who's just going to play defense and get you 15. You're going to you have like a bunch of guys on your team who just play defense and can get you 10 to 15. Like, I wouldn't want to get another point guard when I have one of the 5 best players at the position. And he's your best player. Like, Jalen Brunson is a fucking dog.
Yes, but he's a defensive liability. Miami was hunting him in the playoffs.
That's going to happen regardless.
They're not. That's what. But that's what.
Even if, as long as Brunson's on the court.
But that's one. Like, you make it harder for them to do that.
How many liabilities on defense are there in your starting lineup without Drew Holiday?
Probably just Brunson.
Does putting Drew Holiday on the court stop Jalen Brunson from being the liability on defense? They're always going to find a way to hunt. You can only hide it for so often. The only way you're going to be able to hide it is by putting Jalen Brunson on the worst offensive player and then trying to have him switch all the time.
And that's what you can do, though. That's what you do because you have 4 good defensive players.
But that's what they're going to do anyway. They're just going to switch. You know how they do my favorite thing in basketball, hey, I'm just going to run by you. We're switching.
But my point is, he would instantly become the best defensive player on the team. So you're elevating what you're doing. Like, you're still getting better defensively because he's better.
But it doesn't hide Brunson.
But it elevates everyone else.
But the problem here is Brunson's a liability on defense, and this is you've said it. I'm not shitting on Jalen Brunson. I love Jalen Brunson. Getting a really good POA defender doesn't stop Jalen Brunson from being a liability on defense because they're still going to hunt him.
This is true.
But I just don't understand. Like, the problem here is Brunson's the liability, and Brunson does not become any better of a defender.
That's not true. We live in a league where it's a stretch team, so the killers are not always just point guards.
No, they're everybody now.
Yeah. Secondly, you already know how I feel about the whole small guard Knicks. I hate it. I'm sick of it. This is why I'm against the whole try to get Donovan Mitchell type of thing, because that's another small guard. He's like 6'2". Yeah. And him and Brunson would be the same size. And he's great offensively. Yeah, he's great offensively. My God, no more small guard, back guards.
But to that point, James, Donovan doesn't play defense. Drew specializes in defense. That's why there's a difference there. Because he's not going to be a liability because he specializes in defense. Like, it's not like he's just going to be out there and he's getting cooked. No, it just means that they have to help whoever is trying to hunt for Brunson. You help on that, or you switch everything like you. And
all right, so good.
No, I was just saying it's doable because it elevates everyone. RJ can guard 1 through 3. Brunson can guard 1 through not Brunson. Drew can guard 1, 2, 3. You got Mitch in the middle as backup support, and he's very good at it. I was telling Dylan last season that quiet as it kept, he should have been in that top 5 for defensive player of the year also, because he's very good defensively. And Julius is solid. Julius is a bad defender. He's not a great defender. He's just solid. He just does his job.
The problem you're going to run into is you're going to be having 2004 NBA basketball scores in your games because you guys just wouldn't be scoring the fucking basketball.
You still got 2 25-point scorers on the lineup on the court, though.
and then a bunch of guys who might give you 10 to 15. So that's where it's like
19 in his career. That's a 19-point.
And he's also still streaky. So it's like
20-point scorer. Drew is a 18-point scorer. Like it. I think it would work. I think it could work. The only person that doesn't score, to your point, is Mitch. Mitch doesn't score. I'm not going to argue that. He literally there to block and rebound. That's it.
I'm going to humor you. Say we do this. Who are you willing to give up to get Drew Holiday?
Well, that was what Dylan asked earlier. I would give up Maxey
you need
quickly and some picks. I would give him quickly and some pitches.
If I'm the Knicks, I'm not giving up quickly for a 30-year-old guard. That's what I'm saying. I'm all for trading quickly before you have to pay him what he's looking for, but you got to get, I think, significantly better, because I think quickly can give you everything that Drew Holiday it can or does.
You think quickly can do what?
I think quickly can give you what Holiday does when healthy.
Offensively?
Offensively, I think give you that plus some. I think he has a whole ton of potential on the defensive side. Does he not?
Right now?
Potential, yes.
But I can't let you get off with that potential, because we're going to get off with potential.
Because right now, no, he's not a better defender than Drew Holiday, but he can be.
Because I can potential you to death with RJ Barrett, and you don't want to hear that. So I don't want to.
No, but I've seen a ton of Emmanuel Quickly being a good defender. He's a good defender,
and I've seen RJ be a great scorer.
No, he hasn't been a great scorer.
Yes, I have.
Define great.
I've seen him score 30 multiple times.
Fantastic. I've seen Mikal Bridges score 40 multiple times. I'm not calling Mikal a great scorer.
And he's in his third year. So there's potential there for him to get
anybody
better,
a great
right?
scorer. Like Devin Harris's career high is like 50. Great scorer.
So again, if you're not going to give RJ that potential, I'm not going to give Quickly that potential.
But I think Quickly's a good defender now.
He's an okay defender now.
I think he's a good defender now.
He's not all NBA defensive.
No, but he's also not like almost a 15-year vet who came into his role, because Drew hasn't always been this.
No, he hasn't. He's developed into it.
Drew developed into this in the last 5 years.
And it's become very, very good at it.
Yes, but I wouldn't get rid of Quickly for him. If anything, I would give him, because you could afford his contract right now. You probably don't even have to get rid of Quickly to do.
I don't know what Portland wants. So that
draft. Portland wants draft capital.
I would give them 2 first. I would give them 2
because that's what Portland wants.
5. I would give them 2.
They want the draft capital so they can hoard and trade draft capital for another. Because if Scooter has the year that they all think he's going to be, and he's going to be a star, and you have Ayton and you have Grant, you want to be available to have these assets for when Donovan Mitchell says, hey, I don't want to be here, so somebody come get me, which is coming.
That clock is ticking.
Which is coming. Or the potential Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns, like meltdowns of, we don't want to be here, somebody come get us.
I mean, that's a great question. Dylan already knows my answer to that question.
I think if you can get Drew, and I think Drew helps you guys get Embiid, but I don't know what an Embiid trade looks like.
I don't care. Give him everything. Randall.
I just don't know what it gives up. What it looks like.
12 picks. The Liberty. Dolan.
Dolan doesn't own the Liberty.
I don't care. The Westchester Knicks.
He's over here trying to trade the Nets teams.
Westchester Knicks to him. I don't care what we got to trade to get Embiid over here. You give me Embiid and Bronson.
But would you give up all that for a guy who may not play 40 games?
40's a stretch, though.
Do I have to look at Joel Embiid's career
40's a stretch. That's barely half. That's not even half a season. It's not even half a season. I promise you, he paid more than that in the last 2 years.
2 years, yes. 2 years, yes. I'm sorry, 50 games. That's more likely. He barely plays 50 games.
He played 66 games this year.
68 last year.
Come on, Dylan.
And then what about the 2 years before?
50 and 50. And then what was the 2 years before that? 64, 63.
And then the 3 years before that?
It was a rookie. He broke his foot.
Oh, did he play?
He broke. So in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
So
6
in his
years,
career,
in the last 6 years, he's played 64 times.
and how many times has he played less than 50 or 50 or 51 or less? I'm
Way to
sorry.
go.
What are we doing, Dylan? What are we
So
doing?
he's played less than 50 more times than he's played more than 50.
No.
51.
No.
1,
No.
2, 3, 4, 5.
He's been in the league
Since 2014.
That he literally did not play.
So he's played less than 51 games. If he didn't play in a season, he played less than 51 games, Mike.
He had
Come on now.
Like, come on. What are we doing? Like,
if he didn't play at all, then he didn't play 51.
Oh my God.
Am I wrong? Do those years not count as his career?
No.
They do count because he got drafted in 2014.
No. He didn't play. He didn't practice. He didn't do anything. It was red.
So his career started in 2016.
He's only been on the court for 5
You
years.
You can't redshirt twice.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
For how many? For what? Medical? You can medical redshirt twice? No, you can't.
Yes. You redshirt, then you medical redshirt. That's 2 years. Right?
He has 2 medical redshirt years.
Those years don't count. They don't count. Since he has been an active player, he's only.
When is that? So that only starts after you're drafted, until you step on the court, not when you get drafted.
2016. That's when his career starts for me.
I didn't see him walk across the stage in 2016.
Doesn't matter. That's when he walked on the court. That's when he walked on the court.
So he wasn't attending work for those 2 years?
Dylan, he never played. Like,
did he attend work? Was he at the facility with the team?
Down. That's fine. He could be a member of the organization. Okay.
So he was in the NBA. He was an NBA player.
So do you count those years that Tua sat, that Jalen Hurts sat? Like, when quarterbacks sit behind other quarterbacks.
Yes, you are count? You are working. Yes, they count.
Do they count? They don't count because
they do count.
Field. You wasn't on the field. When you're a backup and you don't play, it doesn't. You're not doing anything.
You still go to work. You are a professional football player.
Are we holding those years against you when we're talking about your career?
When it comes to, we're not talking hell. If we were talking performance, I wouldn't do it because he didn't step on the court. We're talking health.
Those years that Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre, you count those years against him?
I count them in his career, yes, because when you do averages for numbers, touchdowns, you have to put every year he's been in the NFL. You do 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 for, at that point, 16 games.
I must say this, though. In this instant, Dylan, you're using that argument to say that he's a liability versus the fact that he didn't play because of the reason.
I'm not holding. If I was holding statistics against him, I would say from when he played. But we're using it as, hey, he was injured those first 2 years. He didn't play at all. So you go, he didn't play his first 2 years in the NBA. That like he still was an NBA player. He was still an NBA player regardless. He was drafted by the team. He attended work. Did he play 50? So if we're going to count years, he's played 51 games or less. And we look throughout his whole career. We have 2 seasons at 51. We have a season at 31 and 2 DNPs. Those count. Because he did not play 51 games.
But you're trying to hold that against him like he was playing, then he stopped.
He is somebody who gets injured. Is he not? Somebody who gets injured?
And my point is, in the last 6 years, he has not been like that.
And until he gets to the playoffs, where he's just a broken man. Has he not?
Yes, he got hurt this year and
last year.
He missed, I think he missed a game.
I'm not even talking about missing games. I'm just talking about being hurt in general. He's somebody who is just broken. I'm not saying not to do it because I would do it in a heartbeat too. It's just you have to be prepared for the things. Like We had Kevin Durant. I was prepared for Kevin Durant not to play basketball. How is it not true? Maybe you stop. Maybe you leave class and you come in. He. When did he not get hurt? Because he got hurt this year, and then he got punched in the face by everybody in Miami the year before. Like, and what? Had torn ligament in his hand. How is it moving the goalpost? My point has stayed the same place. I never have moved once. I never have moved my point once.
What's your point, Dylan?
My point is, you trade for a guy, or you're okay with him not playing because he's injured? That's my question. Because we never said, would you, Dylan, would you trade for Joel Embiid? Yes, I would trade for Joel Embiid in a fucking heartbeat, knowing that he's going to miss time eventually. Like, that shit happens.
So what's your argument? If that's what you're
the argument only happened here because Mike said the first 2 years of his career don't matter because he didn't play. That's him missing time.
He said that after your statement, though.
Yeah, would you be okay with a guy who doesn't play all the games?
I said in the last 6 years he's only played under 50 twice, and then you said, well, he missed the first 2 years because of injury.
Yeah. But if he's missing time due to injury, do we not count his first 2 years?
The first 2 years was brought up to basically give your argument strength. Yeah, because the argument was within the last 6 years,
but that's only because
season.
If we're looking at the last 6 years, then but if you look at the last 6 years, you also miss the first time he even played, where he only played 31 games. So you miss a third of his career, which are the biggest chunks of his career where he missed games, where he missed 164, almost 200 games in his career that he missed. So of course, I'm going to go with the portion of his career where he's played the most, but forget the part where he missed 200 games.
And how long ago was that?
1, 2, 3, so 6, 7 years.
So most time when you want to when you look at statistics, sometimes you want to go at recent years, right? Which is normally within the last 5, last 2, and stuff like that. So if you go in the last 6 years, he's played over 60 games 4 times. The consistency in that point, when you average it out, that player is on the court more than he's off. So that's what the argument is.
As a GM, when you're looking at players, when you're trading for them, and you have a player who has injury history, who misses time, who has had a major injury that has had him miss multiple seasons, and then misses time during the playoffs and throughout the season, injury history is looked at. It's not ignored. You don't ignore the first 2 years of his career, because especially with a 7-footer who is heavier, the biggest problem 7-footers have injury-wise is what? Their feet. And he missed the first 2 seasons with foot. So that's why you don't ignore the first 2 seasons, because that injury, and when he starts to get a little bit older, which he's like 28, 29 now. When he starts hitting that 30 mark and that foot starts to hurt him, they're going to be looking back at that 2014, 2015, 2016, and then his time at Kansas and be like, hey, we probably should have saw this coming because he's had prior foot issues. Everything with Kevin Durant to this point, where's there a lie? Again, Anthony, you could come in here.
I'm waiting for you to get. I'm waiting for you to get to your Durant point.
All Durant's problems have stemmed from his foot injuries, because they're all lower extremity injuries that are all compound injuries that you didn't start seeing till he started getting older. Once you got past that foot injury, which was 5 years before he had the calf injury, which led into the Achilles injury, which when he comes back, and then he starts having more calf injuries after his Achilles injury.
So you think those stem from the foot injury?
Yes. Because of compound injuries.
So why haven't when Yao Ming was having all those foot injuries, why didn't he have calf and knee and ankle and all those other injuries as
Well, because
well?
he kept having the same foot injury. That's why. His
No, I'm
foot,
saying,
his
but
same.
if he's gonna have a bad foot injury and he comes back, eventually it should go to the calf or the ankle or the Achilles.
It could. It should. Everybody's different. But all those
When
things happen because of the overcompensation. But Yao's problem kept being the feet.
mhm.
That's why
when
it's.
so when Kobe tore his Achilles, why didn't he have more calf injuries or foot injuries?
I mean, are we gonna ask like why it takes people longer to get hurt than others? Because that's what it seems like that question is. Because after
No,
Durant had his foot injury,
I'm talking about compound injuries.
well, it all depends. Like after Kobe got his Achilles injury, when did he retire? 2 years later.
A year or two later. I think.
2 years later after he did it. So we don't know what other injuries he could have had or could have been playing through, etc. The only reason we know about the Durant stuff is because we watched him get hurt, healed up, and then started having injuries again later in his career. Everybody's but like I can't. If I were to tell you what my healing process is for my Achilles right now compared to Aaron Rodgers, could be completely different, right? Because everybody's body's different and injuries happen differently to different people. But compound injuries exist.
Yes.
Like that is a thing. So I am more likely
saying,
to have an injury on my left leg now because I've been overcompensating not having my right leg because of compound injuries. So if your point is now, everybody's different, then you can't eliminate compound injuries because they are scientifically proven to happen. It's just a matter of who, when, and how.
Yeah,
it's going to
and
happen.
You're already and I feel like you're already counting them out already because of
because I said I'd trade for him in a heartbeat.
No, you're contradicting yourself. Because if you can't say I trade for him in a heartbeat, but then have all these things to like negate the reason why you would trade for him in a heartbeat.
It's for pros and cons.
Argument's sake.
When you go to make a trade, these are the things that you look at. Those are things you look at. Like those would be cons. But then let's go look at the pros. We didn't ask me the pros.
What has his injuries been over the course of the time since his injury when he first came in?
Just off my head, broken face, torn ligament in the hand. I'll look. You know what? I'll look it up. We got the power of the internet.
We can do this live. We can do this in real time.
Knee injury in 2019, 2021 torn meniscus, 2022 torn ligament. So he's already started having compound injuries with his legs.
Wait, what?
Knee injury, torn meniscus.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2022 was torn ligament in his hand. And then concussion and broken orbital bone. So he's already had lower extremity injuries on top of his feet that he's had. So, yes. So we could ask when isn't he supposed to have these injuries? He has already then.
So you think him breaking his foot in the first two
is tied to a torn meniscus? Yes.
Now, what foot was it on?
I don't know.
Just gonna take this to the grave, huh?
Hey, he's asking.
I will say that I'm leaning towards doing what James because I don't think I'm hurting his foot in 2014.
I think they're not tied together.
I don't.
So compound injuries don't exist.
I don't think.
No, I don't think his injuries are tied together.
I don't think the torn meniscus is tied to his foot injury because it was 6 years. I don't think it's tied. No, I think that's what it's here.
I think compound injuries exist. I don't think it exists in his case to have the argument to think that because you broke your foot, this is bound to happen because you haven't. I don't think they're tied together.
That's literally what a compound injury is.
No, I don't think his injuries two that are tied together. I don't think you're
I mean, I
tied.
can't argue opinion.
This is all your opinion as well.
I know, but you're asking me to prove stuff that's not like I can't prove that it is.
I just
Like,
think that his injuries in the beginning of his career shouldn't translate to the injuries that he's had throughout his career because they're not close. Even though you want to say, oh, the meniscus and that might, I think that the meniscus the two times may have been the same leg.
you think?
Yeah,
I'm very interested if it's the same leg.
I don't know. Let's see.
and then right because medical has advanced in such a rapid pace these days, I don't think that we can do the whole because you broke your foot early in your career, you're gonna have those issues later on, like a Yao Ming type of thing.
Well, that's just common in people who are larger. That just happens.
That I agree with you. But I just don't think that him hurting his foot 7 years ago has anything to do with him tearing his meniscus because the meniscus tear is just from wear and tear from him running every day of his life. So I don't think it's related.
So if you run a lot, you're gonna tear your meniscus.
It can happen. It has nothing to do with the foot. Athletes do meniscus tears all the time. It's a common.
I know. I'm just asking because if it's just gonna happen if you run all the time, then everybody's gonna tear their meniscus.
It happens. It's a common basketball injury, though. Is it not?
I think it's just a common injury in general, but
runners tend to have that more.
I don't know. You didn't break your ankle in 96. I don't care.
Well, you can't prove that.
I can. How old are you?
But that is the point that I'm making. Like that, to me, that's not a compound injury.
No, but we're going to go ahead and do a much larger scale because I didn't say 20 years, did I? I didn't.
He's given us 7.
I didn't do 20 years. We're just going to take what Dylan says and just bring it to the extreme, like always. When we don't just listen to what Dylan says. Lies. I've seen you, DJ. We talked. You're not 40.
He might be.
He ain't 40. It's not telling me which knee it was. All it's telling me is in the playoffs this year was his left knee, and then it tells me about how he had a torn meniscus in 2021. So it's not telling me which knee it is. So we can move on.
Is Kawhi's calf injury the same leg as the meniscus injury recently?
Well, regardless, you could go and do compound because it happened in his right leg, and he has to overcompensate by overusing his left leg. Then, bam, there you go, injury. So, yes.
You don't think situations come into play of those injuries, or it's just automatically a compound?
So you're saying if I tore my Achilles, right, like I did, if I were to if something were to happen to my left leg, it wouldn't be a compound injury. It would just be situational. No, it would just be situational.
That wasn't my question.
You asked me if it would be situational.
Yes, I'm asking you a question. You have to answer my question.
I'm trying to clear up your question. That's what I'm trying to do, to answer your question.
All right, so what did I ask you?
You asked me if I were to get injured, or if the injury would just be situational. It can only be situational, not a compound injury.
No, I did not say only.
That's why I'm trying to clear up your question.
I said, do you not think that an injury can be situational, that it can only be compound?
No, an injury can also be, it can literally be its own thing. But if you have had previous injuries to your lower extremities in particular here, it's more likely to have a
It,
compound injury. So again,
okay.
I tore my Achilles.
So,
If
so
something were to
when
happen where I would have a calf strain in my left leg, or I
mhm.
would pop an MCL or tear an Achilles here, would that be a compound injury or would that be just situational?
That
It
would be a
depends on the type of
compound.
injury.
But my question to you is, if that exact same injury happened to you 6 years from now, would you consider it compound?
Yes, because I've been overcompensating.
For 6 years,
Mike, do you?
you don't think
I'm
your
going to be
Achilles will be
walking.
healed?
So
You don't think your Achilles will be healed in 6 years?
I don't know how I'm going to recover from my Achilles being healed. I have a friend who is younger than me who tore my Achilles, who stopped playing basketball because he wasn't able to heal correctly, and he's still walking with a limp. And he tore his Achilles 4 years ago. So yeah, I could be walking around still overcompensating in 6 years because my leg doesn't heal properly, or I have something wrong where my Achilles doesn't, or my Achilles and calf don't fully straighten out. So yeah,
This goes back to me saying how in the NBA the medical is much advanced. So you think that these players are going back out there to play with their injuries not being fully straightened out?
ask Kawhi Leonard
What do you mean?
and why he left the Spurs, because they were trying to make him play when his injuries weren't fully straightened out.
Okay.
So yes,
My question when it came to Kawhi Leonard also, because it was situational, when he hurt his ankle, when he got slid under by homeboy from the
Zaza.
Warriors.
Zaza the cheap shot.
Then when he hurt his knee in the playoffs, what was the play that he hurt his knee? It was a fast break and he stepped wrong.
I don't even know because he played through that game both
No,
times.
there was there was a play that led to him being injured.
Are you talking about this past year against Phoenix?
There was a
Or
play,
the
yeah.
I don't know
I
because
don't know when he got, because he played.
he's like torn his ACL twice in the
Like
last
nothing
3
happened.
years, and
And
they're both
then
happened
In
and
the
he played through.
in the Phoenix series, he played, he got injured, played through the rest of the game, and then they ruled him out the next game, right?
Yeah.
And then that was it. It was a play that it happened. He was on a fast break and stepped wrong. Okay.
It could very much so be. I don't know. I'm not trying to be an asshole here. I genuinely don't know. And with Mike's here with me too, because we both watched that game, text to each other. We're like, hey, we neither one of us remember. So I'm not trying to be an asshole here just for the sake of arguing. I genuinely don't know.
Kevin Durant was the best player on the floor. Yes,
He wasn't.
I remember the game well. I remember it well. I remember it quite well. Devin Booker was making a strong case for number two, actually.
What?
I remember it well.
Mike's just chatting.
So we done? Did we talk about who's gonna win the title? Oh yeah. Are we still playing doctor right now?
Hey man, I think if you go for Joel Embiid, I don't think you look at his beginning career injuries to lead up to his current injuries. I think his current injuries are from him doing too much as a big guy, not from stemming from the beginning of his career.
And I say, if you go after Embiid, you look at the beginning of the year injury or the beginning of the career injuries as a tell of what can happen to somebody who is larger. And then you look at all the injury history of the big guys who have played in the last 20 something years as a, hey, this could come and kick you back at the end of the day. But Again,
My argument to that would then be, you show me in recent years on players that have had injuries in the beginning of their careers that have had their careers end from the injuries from the beginning of their careers. You show me in recent years with how medicals have advanced that continues to happen.
and then I will come back and argue with you and say, how many 7-footers in the last 20 years have had feet issues as a whole?
No, you said 20. I said recent years.
I'm
because
talking. My argument has been 20
advanced.
this whole time because I don't care
Understood.
about the advancement of medical technology
And
because
that's
I
you
don't sit
should.
here and
But
I
you
don't have
should.
this stuff in front of me to give
No,
you
but
this
you
answer, right?
should. So but you
Because
should.
because of now, recently, we've had less heavier guys carrying less bulk over the last recent. How long do you want to go recently?
You can say 10 years.
In the last 10 years, how many 7'2" guys who weigh like 250, 260 have there been in the NBA?
You're proving my argument because even in medical,
And then find
why
his
they-
body
so
type
reason-
in the last
so
10
the
years. Find
reason-
it. Tell me.
So I'm gonna tell you as well. The reason why you're not gonna see that many guys like that is because when they look at their body type and play style, they say you need to be at this weight to play that way.
And is Joel Embiid at that weight?
Yes,
He is
he
now.
is
He's
very
lost weight.
much.
He's lost weight.
He's not at 220.
He's never done 220.
He's never going to be. He's going to be over 300 pounds.
He's not
Always.
2 pounds still.
He's not over 300 pounds.
He's going to be
200 pounds.
270 to 300 pounds in his career.
I bet you Joel Embiid. And this
He's
is
also
all-
7'2",
I
so weight
understand
distributes much differently.
I understand that. I bet you right now, off season before training camp, Joel Embiid doesn't weigh more than 265.
That's crazy. That's crazy. He's a large dude. The guys who are that big, how many of them have there been in the last 10 years? Let's do that. How many guys who are as big as Joel Embiid in the last 10 years?
I mean, there's a bunch, but none of them are as good as him. So I don't know, like, what do we? Because there's a bunch of randoms that are in the league that are big, like they're his size, but like, are we tracking them because they're not good? Like, I don't know.
Fucking mouse just died. God damn it. To the phone we go.
That's the Lord striking you down. We need to move on.
So he plays. So right now, according to NBA.com, he's 7'2", 260.
That's what I just said.
And that's only been in the last few years because they told him he was overweight.
And he lost weight.
So, and he's been playing at a heavier weight for his career. So he has played above 260 before. He's a big dude. So again, let's go back to, if we're going to go 10 years, if I have to go recent and pull out everything, just recent medical, like the history of medical fucking science advancing, blah, blah, blah. If I can't use 20 years to go and find guys who are similar size and build as him who have played in the NBA and how they've had foot injuries, we should be able to do the same thing, find guys similar size as him in the last 10 years who have had foot injuries. Guess what? There's not going to be a lot because a lot of the 7-footers who come in now are significantly thinner and significantly smaller to do so. They're not going to be the same bone structure, muscle density, mass, all that stuff as him. It's all different. If you're going to look at body composition, where do you have to go? You have to go farther than 10 years.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I can't think of. They don't carry.
You have to go farther
like
than
that
10 years.
anymore.
So I do agree that medical science has advanced significantly, but your medical science won't work the same when you're looking at different body types.
But again, it all comes full circle. He has lost weight, which means that there's still lesser of a chance.
Whether he's lost weight, he's still big as fuck.
He's still big, but there's still lesser of a chance of him getting
He's
hurt.
still big as fuck. That's the problem here. That's the end all be all. Still big as fuck. So those foot injuries, they linger, and they could be there.
I'm still trading the Westchester Knicks fan.
And I'm still going after him too because the pros outweigh the cons. That's what I think this whole thing. I think you guys think I'm stupid. Where it's like I have never once said I would not trade for Joel Embiid. Never once. It's just when you look at it from the front office point of view, it's, hey, let's look at anything potentially that could fuck us. And that's going to be Bam. There it is. That potentially could fuck us. But do we still feel comfortable getting with an MVP who averages 30 points a game in the last 3 years, has averaged like 29 plus, can give you all the rebounds, is arguably the second best center in basketball behind Nikola Jokic, and some would say is better because he plays defense on the other side of the ball, and like
Another one with that body type.
different. But he's shorter and doesn't have the same muscle mass as Joel Embiid. So their body composition is a little bit different. But Jokic is also a guy I would say, hey, potential foot injuries because he's big as fuck.
Dwight Howard?
Dwight Howard had back. Dwight had back. And that's also another one can fuck him.
Brooke Lopez?
It did fuck him. Brooke Lopez has had foot.
And he's been fine. And he's big.
Well, Brooke Lopez's game changed significantly from when he had his foot injury to then. So he adjusted. Is he still that back to the basket center every fucking possession? No, he's not.
Well, that's because the NBA doesn't play like that.
Karl Anthony Towns?
Did he have foot? He didn't have. He had foot this year, but he didn't have a break or anything.
No, I'm just throwing out players with that size, and if
he's lighter. He's much lighter.
I don't think much lighter though. Dylan.
I think he's like 30, 40 pounds lighter because he's thin.
That would put him at 230, and Cat is not 230.
Cat looks all of 230.
Nah, Cat looks like he's about 240, 250.
That would put him at like LeBron size.
Cat's a big
and he's
dude.
not.
I don't know if he. Cat's a big dude.
And he's 7 foot.
Soft,
Drummond.
but
Drummond. He had foot issues, I think.
He had foot issues, I think.
Here, I'm gonna go get a battery real quick.
Rudy Gobert?
Nobody care about the Frenchman.
Man, answer the question.
He's the reason the whole country shut down.
Answer the question, Mike.
I think Rudy had foot issues. Rudy is the same size as Joel. Might be taller.
Taller.
He might be taller than Joel.
Al Horford?
Not as tall. Al Horford.
Marc Gasol.
6'10", 6'11".
Marc Gasol had a bunch of injuries. Did he not?
Towards the end of his career.
Feet. He was all foot injuries. That's the only thing popping up. I typed in Marc Gasol injuries and he just goes foot. Foot surgery, foot. Because even didn't Powell have foot stuff at the end of his career too?
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna do this again in a couple weeks because the season starts in a month.
Soon.
It starts in a month. But right now, and you can change it when we do our official predictions. But who would be your predictions right now to get to the finals?
I would very much like to wait until I see where Drew Holiday goes because that can sway everything. But I would take Milwaukee in the East. As much as I hate them, I hate Milwaukee. I hate Giannis. But I think swapping for Dame is significant. And I don't really see a world where the Nuggets don't really repeat. So we'll go Bucks Nuggets.
Subject to change.
Subject to change. Watch Drew Holiday fuck around and become a Denver Nugget.
Yep.
Nightmare fuel.
Tragic.
Nightmare fuel.
James. subject to change.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go Lakers. Celtics.
The Celtics were the other team I was thinking of, and that's why I was like, I want to wait until I see where Drew Holiday goes, because if he goes to Boston, then we may have a different conversation.
NBA would love that, James.
They would.
They would
Porzingis.
absolutely love that.
What type of injuries has Porzingis had?
Knee.
Everything.
Everything.
I will go. It's Milwaukee's to lose. It was Milwaukee's to lose last year.
And boy, did they.
Giannis got hurt.
And boy, did they.
Giannis got hurt.
And then crumbled.
I would say Milwaukee, and I'm leaning Phoenix.
Who's the coach of the Bucks now?
I don't know. I don't know. I know, but I don't know. It's is it Nick Nurse?
Adrian Griffin.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that being a bad hire.
I'm still right now. I'm gonna say Bucks Suns because I don't think
They already win not having Bud as their coach, so
exactly. I don't think we're really grasping the one thing we were all not laughing, but saying about Phoenix was they don't have a bench and they got a bunch of guys that get hurt all the time. So how's this gonna work? And now they just got a bench, so those guys can get hurt and swap out and stagger. And I think Phoenix really just made themselves hard to beat.
I don't know about Phoenix yet because they still don't even have a point guard. Like, I don't trust players that aren't actually point guards to play point guard. Like, as good as Devin Booker is, I don't want to see him be a point guard. Like, I don't think he wants to be one.
I don't think he wants to be one either. But I've seen James Harden do it.
But James Harden, like, is a point guard.
He's not a point guard.
He's not a point guard.
But he plays like a point guard. He's a primary ball handler who facilitates and gets a shit ton of assists and runs an offense. Especially when he was in Oklahoma City, where he had to be the guy to calm Russ down to take the ball handling away from him. So, like, James Harden is somebody who can actually be a point guard and run an offense. As good as Devin Booker has gotten at facilitating, I don't think he's a great facilitator to, like, orchestrate an offense. And then if your Bradley Beal, your Kevin Durant, or your Yusuf Nurkic go out, it's not like you're replacing them with, like, 20-point scorers. You're replacing them with, like, a bunch of guys who could get you, like, maybe 10.
Yeah, but they have guys that if those guys go out, they can just elevate their point total. That's
Put the graphic up again about who got what.
Yep. Give me 1 second.
They have guys that will just elevate. Because Devin Booker can hit 50 whenever he feels like it.
Yes, but then you can run yourself the situation like you did in the playoffs where it's like Durant and Booker get you all your points while the other guys are kind of the same level as those other guys.
But the other guys now are better than the other guys last year.
So outside of
Bradley
Grayson
Beal
Allen and
ain't
Nasir
gonna
Little,
but Bradley Beal ain't gonna get no.
No, he's not. But Bradley Beal is somebody who also misses games.
But we're talking playoffs now.
No, I was using the playoffs last year as an example of the other guys that they had, right? And I'm not counting Beal in those other guys because he is a guy, right? It's just he's part of that, like, 3 of 5 who don't play all the games and misses time. So it's like, if any of them were to go down, who do you replace them with? Obviously, it's like, okay, cool. Durant goes down. You still have Beal and Book, and you're good. What happens if it's one of those things where it's like Yeah, we're missing Nurkic, Durant, and Beal for whatever reason,
If that happens,
which
then it's
is
catastrophic.
a real possibility.
Yes, but that's catastrophic. Like that.
Listen,
if
we've
that
seen
happens, then
catastrophic
the whole,
before.
then the whole season stuff.
The whole my whole Nets run with Kevin Durant has been catastrophic. So like it's very real. It is a very real thing that can happen. You guys have seen my season get pulled from me because of this shit. Right? So like it's real. Nurkic has a history of missing time. Beal, Durant in the last 3 years has missed like significantly more games than he's played. And you don't have real replacements for them. Like, who's playing the center if Nurkic goes out? The same player who's playing the center if DeAndre Ayton went out. Nobody. Bol Bol. Bol Bol is going to be your center.
I love that for him.
I love that for him, too. But he has shown everywhere he's been that we don't know if he's the guy. Or if he is a guy. So he has to prove it. And then is he going to play Yuta Watanabe? He stinks.
Amazing how he stinks now.
Listen, you could go back to me saying last year he was like number 1 in the NBA in corner 3 points. Great, fantastic.
Yeah,
as a basketball player,
on the mountaintop,
Yuta the shooter,
Yuta
the shooter. Absolutely,
you didn't even whisper Yuta stinks. You were just like Yuta first rate. Yuta.
Did you guys ask me how I felt about Yuta Watanabe?
We knew.
I told you how I felt about Yuta Watanabe during the season.
You loved him.
I would when he's open, fantastic. Don't let him do anything else.
No, and did you know that, Mike? He never said that to us.
Yuta is not very good.
The tone and the tenor that was given to you.
Will I celebrate when he makes every single shot he takes in the corner? Yes. Don't ask him to do anything else. He's bad. He's a bad basketball player. Don't ask him to do anything else.
As soon as that next jersey got off his body.
Nah, you don't do me like that. Like I didn't want to fight James Johnson every time he went on the court.
Like
don't do that to me.
We're going to do that because that's what you did.
Don't do that to me because I've shown you many a times that I hate players. That I have no problem hating players. I was trying to trade Ben Simmons for every bag of chip I could last year. Every bag of chips I could.
You loved Harris with every fiber in your body.
I still love Joe Harris. He's still the greatest three-point shooter of all time.
And he did not play basketball.
Last year he did not. The last 2 years he did not play basketball. But that also becomes thing of.
I watched a lot of Nets games too, man. He did not play a lot of games during this Kyrie and KD stretch as well. Whether if it was
that's what I'm saying. The last 2 years he didn't really play basketball.
No, the entire stretch they was together 3-4 years. I felt like he didn't play a lot of games. Whether if it was him being on the bench or him being injured, he did not play a lot of games. And then when he did play a lot of games, he did not play well.
Outside of the last 2 years, if we look at his whole Brooklyn tenure, let's just go the last 4 years. What we get him 2019. Mm-hmm. So last 2 years of him being injured, 33 games this year, 14 games last year, 65 games, 69 games, 76 games.
How many years were KD and Kyrie
from
together?
2018 to 2022?
Mm-hmm.
76, 69, 65. And then the last 2 years were injured years. Joe Harris was in the bubble. He was there before Kyrie got hurt, before Kevin Durant even was a year away from playing. Joe Harris was playing games. That's the difference here. Joe Harris played basketball games. Just the last 2 years he was fucked up and he was bad.
And he didn't play well.
2 years he played.
The last 2 years he did not play well. He did not play well, but he still, for a three-point shooter, he was still shooting over 43% for both of them.
Small sample size, that happens.
But again, full sample size. The 65-game season where we lost to Milwaukee outside the playoffs in the regular season, he led the NBA in three-point percentage at 475. Year before that was 424, and then the year before it again, like that, led the NBA in three-point percentage at 474. So we're not going to say he didn't play basketball. He played basketball all but those 2 years in Brooklyn. I love Joe Harris, but those last 2 years, let's go to the playoffs, before the injury 2 years ago. He was horrid. And I'm always gonna be the guy who shits on him for that. But he's still the greatest 3-point shooter on the planet because he beat Steph Curry, and he'll never not be. But those last 2 years, he was bad, and we needed to trade him. I'm not gonna sit here and act like, oh no, they're a net, they're fucking perfect. No, I have no problem shitting on people. I want Dinwiddie gone, and I love Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie can bounce.
The next thing.
Now, why is that?
Because he's erratic with his decisions in the clutch, which has always been my problem with him. When he makes good decisions, he's clutch as shit. He's awesome. But then he makes dumb decisions sometimes, and he's a piss poor free throw shooter. Piss poor free throw shooter, as you could go see in the previous playoff series against Philadelphia. He was awful from the free throw line. Same thing with Joe Harris. Terrible at the free throw line. Great 3-point shooter. Terrible at the free throw line.
Next thing.
Tails good.
Which brings me. I'm gonna save it.
Oh, you want to pivot to the WNBA? Is that what you're trying to do?
Huh?
We can pivot.
No.
No, you can ask your question, James.
No. Before we even switch to the WNBA, which is the reason why my name is Breezy equals Wolfspins, because the Nets are not gonna get a superstar before the season.
The trade wasn't superstar. The deal wasn't superstar. So try again.
Star.
And I have an NBA definition of star ready available for when a trigger's pulled.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You let me know when they get that star you're talking about.
no problem.
They got a month.
We got till opening night. It can still happen.
They got a month.
It can still happen.
Clock is ticking.
It can still happen.
I hope you have that Will spin ready for me.
Don't worry. We'll be all right.
Undefeated at the Will spin here.
But since we brought it up, we'll talk about the WNBA real quick. Me and Dylan's New York Liberty are in the conference. I mean,
and James's son.
Somebody give a fuck about the Suns.
Yeah, no.
We don't.
Make
we
sure
care about
you
this.
mentioned it.
We
And
care about
James's
this.
son.
Stewie winning
Stewie.
MVP. First MVP in Liberty history.
Stewie.
Second closest race in WNBA history. She won by a big 6 points.
This is a bittersweet thing for me because Stewie is a UConn. Yeah.
That's okay.
So,
No bittersweet, just sweet.
It's just sweet.
no, I said
Just
for me.
sweet.
I said for me.
It's sweet.
For me, it's bittersweet because I'm a Connecticut Sun fan. She was a UConn Husky, and now she plays for the Liberty, and we're playing the Liberty. But it's all right though. We're going back to Connecticut, baby. I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready.
We're ready.
Mike, your tone, bruh. We know your tone. You was shaky before the win last night. Yeah, it would be good if we went back to Connecticut down 2. It won't be good.
It was the best of 5. You go down 0-2, it's not good.
You watch you work on your tone, but you was
Not
trembling.
good.
Yeah,
Not good.
yeah.
You don't want to
Build
go.
that
I'm sorry.
confidence back up.
I'm sorry. Who wants to go down 0 with nothing but elimination games? Who wants to do that?
What I
Does
know
anybody
is
want to do that?
no,
listen,
don't.
that's
What
not
I know
ideal.
is you got a lot of confidence right now after you were scared to go back. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Lib fans and the Lib players, yeah, y'all need to fix your tone like y'all just wasn't down in the desperation game just now. Yeah, fix it.
Just like you're now in one.
No, we're going back home, baby.
Oh,
It's still a desperation game.
It's absolutely a
Yeah, it's not
desperation game.
desperation.
Let
We're
us.
going back
It's
home,
absolutely a
baby.
desperation game
Because
because
if
you
we
could lose
pack
home
y'all
court.
up- If we pack y'all up on Friday, y'all are down facing elimination. So I suggest you try to win.
Yeah, if you guys go down, you
Hey,
lose home
I
court.
know-
That is a must win.
I know the scenario goes both ways because if we win the next game, y'all are facing elimination before you even get back home.
And if we win next game, you're facing elimination at home.
We'll cross
What-
that bridge. But we're not. We listen. Stewie got her groove back. That's all I know.
Stewie
I
didn't
know
play
we
well.
stole home court advantage already. We
Played
stole
well
it.
in the fourth.
That's what y'all really need to look at though. We stole home court advantage from y'all already.
Don't worry, we could take it back.
Hey,
That's the wonders of a series. We could take it
Hey.
back.
it is. But right now we gotta step on you because we did our job. We stole one. And now we're
Yeah,
going back.
now it's our turn to do
and
ours.
Now it's our turn. Now
Hey,
it's our
y'all got a chance to do it. Y'all got a chance to do it. But we did that already.
James,
So-
you're talking like the series is
James,
over already.
It's not.
You're talking real confident.
This same
Nah.
energy for this weekend.
I'm only talking like this
Same
because
energy.
I'm talking like this because someone was trying to pull my card on whether if I was a real Sun fan or not. So
Then
that's
put a
the
wheel
reason
spin
why I'm
on it.
talking
Put a
like
wheel
this.
spin on the series.
What up?
Wheel spin on the series.
What up? I'm
Mr.
always down for a
Undefeated.
wheel spin.
Wheel spin on the series.
I'm always down for a wheel spin. What up? Who you think you're talking to? Anthony? I'm
I'm
down for a
talking-
wheel spin.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Say you accept.
Except, buddy, what's the
Wait,
deal?
what's the deal?
God, you're talking
What's the
crazy.
deal?
Wheel spin. Liberty win the series. You spin the wheel.
Okay. And if the Sun win the series,
I spin the wheel.
cool. Deal. Shake
Wow.
on it.
Bang, bang, bang.
We'll
Shit
train
like
it.
that. Shit like
We'll
that.
do
Shit
it.
like that.
Like, let's do it. Let's just do it.
Wheel spin deals over here.
Wow. That
Don't worry,
escalated.
you're undefeated until you lose.
That is true.
That escalated quickly.
That is true.
Cause he's over here talking crazy like I'm not about it. Like, what are we doing? You're not gonna check my gangsta live. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and do it back.
Wow. Here we go. So this just made this series even better. Even better. Liberty did lose game one. Connecticut came and played great defense. So Liberty could not hit a shot to save their life. And Connecticut won game one. Game two, back and forth game. The Liberty just could not.
It was
get
scary.
Comfortable.
It was
Just very
scary.
The Liberty
Yeah,
were
okay,
winning the
hold.
whole game. The Liberty were winning the whole game. James. They
It was
just couldn't
scary,
pull
and
away.
then we figured out Sabrina cannot guard someone.
As likewise, she also couldn't guard Sabrina, so I don't want to hear none of that.
Okay.
Sabrina still dropped 20 and 5, so like, what are we doing?
Okay.
Sabrina did still drop 25. And that
Like,
was a
she's
bad
over here
game.
spouting, you can't guard me, but she also couldn't guard her.
Okay.
The problem here is Stewie's been slow to start. Stewie has not played well.
She's gotten better as the game has gone on, but she has had two
But that's the Suns'
slow
game plan.
starts. Yeah. And the Suns' game plan is anyone but Stewie. That's their game plan. What I need is Jocko Jones to just step up just a little bit. Going back to Connecticut, back to that Krispy Kreme Mohegan Sun where I ran into you last year. Go and let them know what it is. Because her and Alyssa Thomas have been having battles in the paint. And you can tell that they've been teammates and they've practiced against each other the way that those girls are playing tough in the paint.
Yeah, they playing like 90s men.
They're
It-
playing
it-
very physical. They're
it's
playing
very-
very physical, and that's taking them out of the Liberty's game.
It's not the Liberty's game.
Liberty want to sit around and dissect you and run plays and just like, let's get the easy shit when the Sun come in there and they put the shit in their face. They're struggling. That's what Stewie's struggling. It's too physical for her right now. But luckily, Vandersloot, Ionescu, what's her face from yesterday,
My girl.
all balled, all played very, very well. Jonquel with a double as well. We need to get a little bit more out of. I agree with you. Jones, I think, needs to play better, but
a little more from Jocko.
but we also can't be fine with Stewie getting 11 points.
No. And we can't, like, James, like, yes, she can't.
And we
guard
also
me.
can't expect Homegirl to score 30
She's
every
not,
game.
she's not scoring 30.
She's not like that.
She's not scoring. Now, if she scores 30 like that every rest of it, Connecticut probably will wait because that just doesn't happen. So they've done a very good job with Alyssa Thomas. Bonner is doing what she does.
Yep.
And I mean, and it's a good coaching matchup. I need I need some schemes because, like you said, Dylan, Stewie has not been adjusting well in this series. You got to coach her up. You got to get her plays, get her shots in her spots.
You gotta get her looks early. If you get her going early, it's gonna get everybody else going.
Luckily, she's an all-world player, and she didn't let her lack of offense stop her because she was having a block party in game 2.
Yeah, 5
Yeah,
blocks.
that
She was
is
3 for 13.
Yeah, she didn't have a good game, but she hit the big 3 when she needed
Yeah,
to.
not a great game.
So we'll
Shout out to
see.
Sabrina, who just doesn't miss free throws.
Ever,
That's
except
my girl.
except when she missed the 2 against Washington that almost broke my heart. But doesn't matter. Jacquel cleaned it up.
She's normally just a billion% free throw shooter.
Yes.
Just a billion%, just doesn't miss.
And if you're wondering why we're not talking about basically the Western Conference Finals with the Aces and the Wings, it's because the Aces aren't going to lose. They're not going to lose to those girls. It's Asia Wilson is too good, and Chelsea Gray is the point guard of women's basketball. Like I've been saying on this show for 2 years. Nobody.
You have. I'll give you your credit. You absolutely have.
I need a shot for my life. She is on the top 5 list. I'm giving her the ball, and I promise you, she's going to get a bucket.
I'm mad we gotta wait till the 29th for this game.
Yeah, because now I was already invested, but now Dylan taking one for the team will spin on it.
Yeah, you're bitch made, Mike.
He challenged me. He challenged you. So
You do double wheel spin.
I'm good.
Yeah, I was about to say. James does 2, and we each do 1.
Now I'm good.
Yeah, you already got me on the knife.
Yeah, I'm all set. I'm all set.
Because you got fear in your heart.
But I'll be right here with the pom-poms for you.
No bitch in my blood.
I'll be right here with pom-poms for you, though. I'll have the Undertaker music queued up for you.
Not for me. I'm not gonna need it.
I hope you don't. I really don't. This is the year. Had Alicia Keys in the building. Game 2. It was great. All right, James. I don't know if you're going to dip into this one, but it's our weekly time. It's time to talk about Coach Prime.
It's prime time.
Time to talk about Coach Prime. Was it a good week?
Fucking terrible.
Was it a good week? It wasn't a good Saturday.
Oregon decided they were going to score 1 billion.
Yeah.
It was tough. This was I expected this, but I knew Oregon was good, and I knew this was going to be a real challenge for Colorado. Colorado just doesn't have the guys yet. That's the problem. They just don't have the guys. They got out physicaled on the fronts on both offense and defense. Shedeur was just getting killed every snap.
Hike down he goes. And it was exactly it.
That meme of that dude getting jumped into the game and just like fight back. That's literally what it was. Shedeur was getting slaughtered, and Bo Nix put himself in the Heisman conversation because he already was playing great. Ass whooping like this is something that puts you in that conversation. Promptly took Shedeur right out because you cannot have games where you just put up a touchdown losing by 40.
Nothing. Yeah.
Kind of can't do that. And then Colorado has to go after taking this ass whooping to go play USC. It's not looking good.
No, it's not. It's not looking good.
But this is perfect for the Coach Prime haters.
Oh, they've been waiting.
They've been waiting for this.
I did not like Colorado stepping on the logo at the beginning of the game.
Oh, I have that. I have this whole video ready of all. I also think the Colorado players got too big for their britches.
Yeah.
They put too much dip on their chip, and they started doing all the dumb shit that you just can't do. And I hope when Prime saw all that was like, "What are you guys fucking doing?
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that." Like this ass whooping was just something
That's what it
crazy. Look
was.
at this fucker go. Whoop, whoop, whoop. They didn't score until like the last 5 minutes of the game.
Like, it legit was 42-0.
Yeah.
It was 42-0.
And they were going for two. They were doing everything. They were just running it up.
Without
Immediately.
without care, just running it up.
Their head coach was caught on film in their pregame speech. Like,
He wasn't
they're out
caught.
here playing for
He
clicks.
wasn't caught.
Caught. They captured him on film.
He
Is what I
knew
meant.
damn well
He knew-
that camera was in there.
He's
and
like, they're out here fighting for clicks. We're out here fighting for wins. And that's super disingenuous because you
Because you
all
brought
are
the camera
jealous
in
of what
there.
Prime is doing. Everybody is like really envious of what Prime is doing in Colorado. And you brought the ESPN cameras in there to also get clicks. Like, Oregon represented everybody who hated Deion Sanders this week.
And then they were all on Twitter waiting for this moment.
It sucks because you don't get Travis Hunter for another 3 weeks, lacerated kidney or whatever the fuck it is. And even if they had Travis Hunter, I really don't think it would have made a difference because they were just so.
They would have still lost, but they probably wouldn't have lost like that.
I think they would have because their defense didn't stop the run.
Yeah.
Like, their defense really didn't stop the run, and their offensive line was too busy getting bullied, and he wouldn't have been able to throw the ball. So it's like it really wouldn't have changed much, really, at all. Like, the outcome would have been the same. It just would have been better to have Travis Hunter there.
Right.
Oh, let me cue this video up for you because I saw this video. I was like, because I saw this right before the game. And I was like, Colorado's about to get the doors blown off them. Crazy shit.
The Cinderella story is over, man. That don't mean something to you? That don't mean something
Can't
to
do
you?
that. Ugh.
Sure as hell means something to me. Hey, I'd like to report a crime to the murder to these ducks.
Doing too much talking
Too much.
for a team that is literally a national underdog. You're giving a reason for these teams to hate you.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving a reason for all these media outlets to hate you. And that's not how Prime coaches.
And trust me, they got a talking to this week.
Yes, they did. And they needed it because they're going against the number one quarterback in the country. Number one offense in the country.
I think they will play better because they're going to be home. USC's defense is not as good as Oregon's defense.
But they're bigger. That's the thing. They're bigger.
I think Colorado will be in this game for about a half this week, and then it'll slowly fade away. I just like I said last week, we talked about there was 21-point underdogs. I didn't think that bet, but I would have taken those points because
I almost took 21. I almost took Oregon minus 21. I would have made me some money.
I would take 20. I don't know what the line is right now, but I would take 21.
What the line is.
Colorado.
We hate Prime line of the week. Let's see.
I don't know, DJ. Those schools they take.
They
that
really
first
care
one.
about that shit. Like, I don't think in the grand scheme of thing it seems small, but it's just it's one of those things where it's like you pile on your level of how serious am I taking this game, and they've already got the national media coverage, and they already counted out a top 10 ranked team in Oregon, and that already pissed them off. And now they're doing all this silly shit.
Not a good look.
Not a good look.
Now, the way that they were acting on the internet, I mean, we can
21 and a half.
See, I probably would take that again.
I would take USC plus 21 and a half.
Oof.
Colorado's not ranked at all now. They lost to a top 10 team and now aren't ranked.
Which is wild. Which also, to me, shows the hate for Prime because
the college football people don't, when they do the rankings, they don't do that. I just think it's crazy. We have a real possibility here that there's gonna be 2 Pac-12 teams in the playoff. That's crazy.
Because I've been saying this whole time, I think Utah's the best team in the Pac-12. I think Utah. No one. Yep, making that face. No one's talking about Utah because they play.
Utah's not better than Oregon or USC.
Okay, we'll see.
They're not.
Oregon's very good. And USC
So is
has the
USC.
quarterback. But I think Utah's very good. What I was about to say was we don't cut corners here. We know what it is. We know there's racial undertones going on here.
I'm still never gonna give those Nebraska people the light of day after they called Shador a JUCO quarterback coming from HBCU. That's just disrespectful.
And you know what that is. Like I said,
That's just racist. That's literally just racist.
they hate crime. They hate the idea of crime. They hate the fact that the way he's doing things is working. Because again, crime tells these kids that they're important and that their voices matter and to be individuals. And the establishment doesn't like that idea. So they want to crush Prime every chance they get. But like Prime said, you better get him now because Prime is getting all of these kids.
I would like to show you something, Mike, and I think you're going to appreciate this.
Oh, okay.
Look who fell out of the top 4.
I do appreciate them bums getting knocked out the top 4.
That is why I think they're not making the playoff. They beat a team and got dropped because everybody else is playing higher ranked teams.
They didn't have a Florida State's fine.
Listen.
Hey, keep going. No. Keep going. Oh! Is that Duke? Where's Duke? Is that 17?
Outside of Clemson, they're beating nobody.
Is that them?
They may get washed this week. Duke may wash them and make you shut your mouth because Duke only lost. North Carolina, Notre Dame only lost because on the final play of the game they had 10 men on the field on defense.
Notre Dame lost because of bad coaching. That's a black man. I'm rooting for him, but they lost because of bad coaching. You can't not if it happens one play, okay. You cannot have 10 men on the field for the last 2 plays of the game. That is inexcusable. You cannot. That's bad coaching. It's bad coaching.
DJ, do you want to know why I don't think FSU is going to make the playoff? It has nothing to do with FSU, right? It just has to do with literally everybody else, right? So you have Georgia, Michigan, Texas. They're all going to probably make it, or whoever the Big Ten champion is, the SEC championship is going to be Georgia, and the Big 12 is going to be Texas, right? You also have 1, 2, 3, 4 teams in the Pac-12.
Is that Utah that Dylan said stinks?
I didn't say Utah stinks. I didn't do that. You have 4 teams in the Pac-12 right here that all have a tougher strength of schedule. Everybody, no, 6 is next year, DJ. 6 starts next year, so it's only 4. So you could have, even after a loss, you could still find a way for these teams to have a 2-team Pac-12 in there because of the strength of schedule. Because Florida State's only ranked team they've beaten is LSU. And they don't face another ranked team until Miami and Florida. If Miami or Florida lose, again, at any point in this year, they lose their ranking.
We ain't losing. How about that? That's why Florida State ain't going to make it, because we ain't losing. Who going Georgia Tech? That's what you want me to be scared of? Georgia Tech?
Triple option. No, North Carolina, man.
No, I rebuke that. I rebuke it.
So
Never
that's
North Carolina and nothing, James. Nothing. They don't get nothing.
He's bringing a Duke basketball fandom into a Miami.
Yep, they don't get nothing. They don't get nothing. They stink. I don't even know who's on the team. They stink.
You also may get 2 guys in the Big Ten in the playoff.
Yeah,
you may get Michigan, Ohio State.
You keep saying that. Like I told you, I think Penn State is really good.
Pence to put him in there. Like you could get two guys in the Big Ten in there: Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State. I think whoever the Big Ten championship game is, you might as well just book those two into the playoff or the Pac-12,
but I
depending
don't
on how
think
high the
Florida-
rankings get.
I don't think Florida State's going to run the table. That's why this is all new to me. Because I don't think they're gonna run the
I
table.
think even if they run the table,
But if they ran the table, I think they would be in.
That's where it's hard for me.
I just don't think they're going to.
And that's
Because I don't
again,
think
that's not me shitting on Florida
I don't
State.
think
I'm just
Texas is going to run the table. I don't think Texas is going to run the table.
Texas don't play nobody the rest of the year.
I mean, they got to play Oklahoma in a couple weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only game. The Red River Shootout is the only game they really have left. They're gonna run through Kansas.
Then they're going to have to play TCU in the championship game.
TCU ain't it.
Or
That's
is it
the
going to
problem.
be TCU?
TCU's on November 11th. Iowa State is on the 18th in Texas Tech. So in the Big 12, who the fuck would they be playing in the Big 12 championship game?
But that's my point. Like how
It would be Oklahoma, probably. It would probably be.
Ain't nobody worried about Texas. Nobody worried.
Texas is for real. You don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm not worried about Texas.
Yo, Texas is for real. Don't do that. Quinn Ewers is a baller. Those boys over there are good.
We will see.
TCU stinks. TCU lost literally everybody that was on that national championship team the year before, and they have no quarterback play. The only team they really have to worry about is Oklahoma. Oklahoma really ain't that great either. I think Texas beats them no problem.
Rivalry game, you never know.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the only problem is it's a rivalry game, but I don't really outside of Oklahoma, I don't see Texas losing.
All right. We will table this and get back. But go Colorado. They're gonna have LeBron on the sidelines.
It's literally turning into the LA Forum in the 80s. That's what Boulder, Colorado is turning into. It's every celebrity, everything that you could want. Anybody who's anybody is in Boulder, Colorado on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
Now, imagine they build a little nightclub there, just like they did the Forum nightclub. Right there. It's going to be a problem.
Well, them dudes, they stay for the game, and then they are out.
They're hanging out. No, there's a few of them that are hanging out with Prime in the office.
No.
But Prime don't partake. Prime's a Christian man.
Man of God.
Man of God.
Man of God. Who did I say was it? Oh, we gotta talk about football. More football. I think the Dolphins just scored again. The Dolphins just scored again.
Sean Payton owes Nathaniel Hackett an apology. Because he was talking all that crazy shit. He's like, it's one of the worst head coaching jobs I've ever seen. You've given up the second most points in NFL history, sir. I don't want to hear shit from you ever again.
And
all I want to do...
It could have been the worst, and he decided not to.
He decided not to kick the field goal.
I'd have been petty.
All I wanted to do is, I hate that Roz in Japan right now because I just want to throw Sean Payton in his fucking face. He's like, oh, I thought because you were a good coach one place, you're automatically going to be a good coach somewhere else. And as he gives up 70.
And it's funny because all I heard this week was, well, Sean Payton's not a defensive coach, so it's not his fault. He's not a defensive coach.
He didn't score.
I mean, Dylan, so this is how bad it was. They could have scored 50 and they would have still lost by 3 touchdowns.
They lost by 50.
They lost. James. Which is worse? They gave up 70 or the fact that they lost by 50?
They gave up 70 points.
They gave up
The worst part about it is, James, they benched their starters and their backups came out right away and threw a 75-yard touchdown.
Second team came out and was like, nah, hold that. We still got more. Still got more.
They just kept going.
70 points.
It's crazy. crazy.
70 is wild.
So I'm gonna need him to apologize to Nathaniel Hackett.
I've been playing. I mean, not James, but Dylan. You've been playing Madden for how many years? I've been
long
playing
time.
Madden for how many? I can count how many times I've gotten 70 on stuff. Like you barely even get 70 on the computer unless you
I do
play
it once
like
a year.
20. You play a long game. You can get it if you play a long game.
When I'm in my zone and I try to break records in my franchise, like I think because I have Anthony Richardson on my team in my franchise, and he's like he's Cam Newton. I've scored 84. That's my most I think I've ever scored.
I've hit 70 a couple times,
but I really only do it like maybe once a year because it's not fun.
Miami looked like they was having fun.
Miami was absolutely having fun. They had some of the best touchdown celebrations I've seen in a while.
Miami was having a ball out there, boy. And is Miami starting to develop a home field advantage? Because that crowd was kind of
all 12 of them.
Yes.
Yeah, all 12 of them that were there. Their home field advantage is it's fucking hot. That's their home field.
Well, are they home this week?
Who are they playing? They play the Bills, right?
Yeah, they're playing Buffalo. Them playing. Yeah, Russell Wilson might be hearing some more future soon.
They're in Buffalo.
Okay.
So Miami, we're not going to get another heat stroke game like we did last year, where Stephon Diggs is on the sideline dying.
And when they play again later in the year, it'll
colder.
Be in Miami, so it'll be
like 75.
They won't have to go play in the snow.
The Miami team's fun, man. It's a very fun team.
They're the best team in football. For me, the power rankings this week, they're number one.
I don't know yet. I still put San Fran.
This week's power rankings, I have to put them number one. I have to.
I can't. Seeing the score 70 is fine. That Broncos defense is sus.
Yes.
Super sus.
Thank you for reminding me, because much like your Jets, and this is actually not a shot at the Jets, but just using them as all I heard was the Broncos are a quarterback away. The Broncos are a quarterback away.
They got rid of a lot of their guys last year.
That defense, it's not trash, but
it's trash. No, it's trash.
They're not good. Like, they're
apparently
overrated.
PS2 called his dad, who works on the Dolphins roster, and asked for some insider information on how to stop the Dolphins. Your dad lied to you, boy. Whatever he told you lied.
Didn't work.
Because PS2 was getting cooked all up and down the field. And I'm getting told PS2 is the best corner in football.
I'm one of those people that think he's the best corner in football.
I did watch him lock up Devontae Adams every single time they lined up, but then I watched him get cooked by literally everybody in Miami.
He had a bad game.
He had a very bad game.
I do think he's the best corner in football, but like, I can't defend it. If you want to tell me somebody, I can't defend it. Like, there's no defending that. The tape doesn't lie. Like, that was bad.
Also, Anthony, cool the fuck out with your Christian Gonzalez shit. He's good, but no. That man has given up a touchdown every game except for the Jet game. And when they played the Dolphins, they had 3 safeties over the top at all times. Like, Tyreek Hill was not going anywhere, and he still caught a touchdown that game. It's not hard to shut down Garrett Wilson when Zach's throwing the fucking ball.
Yes, Zach is the worst human being ever. But so we got to take a vote. After the Cowboys game, were Cowboys fans like this, or were they like this?
My brother was like that. But the Cowboys were missing 3 starters on the offensive line.
Yeah,
and Trayvon Diggs tore his ACL.
Yep, I heard all of that.
That's a tough loss. You still can't do it.
You still can't lose to the Cardinals.
You still can't lose that game.
Still can't lose to the Cardinals.
My favorite thing was Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs, he found a clip of Micah Parsons on his podcast saying that Josh Dobbs was now on his list of players he has to get. And Josh Dobbs just posts a video and goes, whoop, missed. Even though he did got once. Like, Micah did get him. The problem is he was just running. Cowboys couldn't stop the run.
They can't stop the run.
They were not able to stop the run against them, which is crazy.
And
Which is insane because all they did was stack the box against the Jets and stop our run, but they let fucking all of the Cardinals running backs and Rondale Moore run for like 1 billion yards.
run
It's
rampant.
frustrating. Micah Parsons is still the best football player on the planet, so no ifs, ands, or buts. I won't take any arguments.
The guy in Kansas City is pretty good.
He is, but I think Micah Parsons is just better at what he does, which is insane for me to say because you know how I feel about that guy in Kansas City.
That guy in Kansas City is nasty. Do we want to talk about that guy in Kansas City? I know you don't.
I don't really care. I do want to get off my point before we go off. I still pick San Fran. I'm now with Dallas having all the injuries. San Fran has moved up to my best team in football list. I can't really pick Miami because Miami isn't really being forced to play defense. They're just bending. They're just bending and bending and bending, and they haven't played besides the Chargers, they haven't played a team that can really score on them. And the only defense I've seen them play did a good job of stopping what they wanted.
My question to you is, at what point do we start looking and going, maybe Miami's defense is better than we think? Because that defense is going to get better when Jalen Ramsey comes. And let's not forget, he's still coming. Like, they're doing this without him.
I'm not expecting anything out of Jalen Ramsey because he's coming off an ACL injury. So my expectations for Jalen Ramsey are so low and non-existent, not to be disrespectful. It's just because you cannot really expect to come back from the ACL injury and be that guy, right?
Got that dog in him, though.
Yeah, and that same guy who had that dog in him last year who got cooked every fucking week. Like, we can't ignore the things that are there, right? And I've been the guy who's been high on Miami. Anthony's been shitting on Miami, and he's been very quiet on Miami being the greatest show on turf 2.0. Like, they're just they're track stars. Like, they're fantastic. The problem is they've played one good defense, and that one defense did everything you're supposed to do to stop them. You met a great defensive mind in Bill Belichick who took what you're doing on offense and tried to apply it on defense, which was, hey, we're going to play positionless deep ball defense on our field while you play positionless offense. So them doing everything to take away the deep threat and make Miami beat you in the short game is what you're supposed to do. The problem is Mike McDaniel's probably one of the 5 best play callers in football and is one of the smartest minds in football. And if anybody knows how to do a run game, he learned it from the best. He learned it from Shanahan. And it doesn't matter who's running the fucking football. Like, it doesn't matter in San Fran who's running the fucking football. Everybody's going to... Do you know who any of the running backs are in Miami?
No. Well, I know most of that 4 touchdowns. But...
Yeah, and you know who had over 200 yards rushing? Devon A-Chain. You ever heard of him?
I could have had 200 yards on Sunday.
Devon A-Chain. And then they have other guys that are on their team that this dude starts with a fucking G. I forget his fucking name right now. But, like, they have a bunch of nobodies on their team, and they run the ball so well because they have nothing but track stars. They're like, we know how to zone block. We know what holes to hit. Just hit 100 miles an hour, and you're going to be open.
And you can't stack the box because Tyreek literally can be gone.
Tyreek and Jalen Waddle
can be gone in 2 seconds. So you can't stack.
They have nothing but track stars.
You have to have something accountable.
You can't play single high. You have to play double safety always.
You better never play single high against that team, especially when Waddle comes back. You better not let Tua catch you in single high.
Like, and the offensive line is doing just enough. Their offensive line is bad, but they're doing just enough for Tua to get 3 steps. That's it.
Enough.
He's getting 3 steps, the ball's gone. Does it help that by the time he takes a second step, Tyreek Hill is open? Yes.
So, after we're gonna next week, we're gonna do
next week. I'm gonna know how I feel about Miami,
and next week will be 4 games in, so we can do. It's not.
That's a quarter. That's like our quarter of the way position.
Quarter, but I'm telling you right now. Spoiler alert. He's my MVP right now.
Tua?
Tyreek.
I'd put Tua.
Tyreek's my MVP right now.
Tyreek, if Tyreek was able to have all of the games he's played be like this, I'd say yes, but he had that one game against the Patriots where he put up 40 yards. So that's why Tua gets the edge in my book, because it's also a quarterback award.
And I am very big on it. It's not a quarterback award.
Fine. How many quarterbacks last like 10 years of it?
I understand how it gets voted, but for me, it's not a quarterback award. It's literally who's the most valuable player on the team. And I think Tyreek is the most valuable player on the team.
You could make the argument if Tua didn't play and they had to put in Skylar Thompson,
Tyreek
Tyreek wouldn't be doing this.
But I can make the argument if Tyreek's gone, might be a different story too.
They still have a million track stars on this offense. It would still run. I'm not saying it would be better without Tyreek Hill, but the quarterback stirs the drink. And we saw last year this offense, because Tua was fantastic last year too before his injuries. They put in Skylar Thompson, and they were not fantastic. So, and especially when you're a position who is so dependent on the quarterback, it's hard to fight for you when your quarterback is the one putting you in your position to succeed. Granted, do I think Tua deserves all the credit for sending Tyreek on a slant and getting 90 yards? No, because that's how Brock Purdy gets most of his yards.
Don't do that.
Brock Purdy's average depth of throw is like 4 yards. I don't want to hear none of that.
I don't think so. How much is he averaging per completion though?
Per completion, that's like 7.
That's pretty good, Dylan. Like, I'm with you. Anthony overdoes it. He overdoes it, but I don't think Brock Purdy's a bum. I actually think he actually is pretty good. Like, I still have so many questions. Quality NFL throws, though.
He does. And I will give that to him. And I said that to Anthony, where Anthony's like, say something nice about Brock Purdy. I was like, I think he has a solid arm, and I think he makes the right decision. But I think I have him on that same level of Jimmy Garoppolo, where it's like, take away that first read, see what he does. And he doesn't play well when that first read's gone.
He runs a little more than Jimmy does, though.
Jimmy tries.
Can
we talk about how I'm right about Jimmy Garoppolo, by the way?
I mean, Anthony's not here, so it's not quite.
No, I'm not. Yeah, but you're also someone who doesn't think Jimmy Garoppolo is a bum. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is a bum.
I don't think he's a bum, no.
I think he's a complete bum. And like, I hate he brought a team to the Super Bowl. Nah, look at that team.
Have you ever heard me use that argument?
No, but I'm a big proponent of that in real time with all these teams. So it's like, I use my same argument that I'm using now to talk about Jimmy, where it's like, listen, that team that went to the Super Bowl was the best defense in football, had Deebo Samuel, like, at that point, the best tight end in football, the best offensive line. And Jimmy lost them that game. Jimmy lost them the Super Bowl. Are we going to forget that?
Do a horrible pass.
He threw that RPO, which was the same RPO slant, bam, bang, interception, right? He threw that same play in the NFC Championship game against the Packers, and it was a drop pick. And I remember being in the PlayStation chat with my brother, where we're both watching the game, and I said to him, if he does that again, like, this game's over. He can't throw that. They should not run an RPO again. And that same play is the one that got picked off in the Super Bowl. Mind you, he threw the ball 8 times in that game. So I guess he gets all the credit, Anthony. He gets all the credit for them winning that game. He threw the ball 8 times. Mostert ran for 180 yards.
I would say he would not have been MVP of that game either. Because, I mean, it was still a close game, but he wouldn't have been.
Aaron Rodgers was awful in that first half. He gave the ball away so many times and missed a bunch of throws. He was terrible. And they just ran away.
They ran away from him.
They ran away. And that drop pick came in like the fourth quarter. So that would have brought them within a score. So I asked him on Sunday, I was like, is your team as good as that Niners team? No, then this is exactly what you're getting. This is the Jimmy you're going to get. This is the Jimmy I knew you were going to get. Take away that first read, bomb.
Have they forgotten that Josh Jacobs is on that team?
No, they haven't. They've been running the ball. Josh Jacobs just isn't good right now. He looks like a running back that missed all of camp, and he did not stay in shape.
And he's working his way into shape?
And he's working his way into shape. This is Shaq in 2001. He's like, I've been partying, I've been hanging out. I need to play myself into shape for the playoffs. He's averaging like 1.8 yards per carry.
That's why they're not giving him the ball. They're not going to make the playoffs.
They are. They're running. They just have to stop.
They're not making the playoffs.
They're not winning 6 games.
Probably not. And I need Tennessee to win some games, though. That's the only thing.
Yeah, you're in a tough spot. You know, your quarterback's not going to be your quarterback in 3 weeks.
If he keeps playing like this, he may not be.
He's going to be traded before that.
To you,
I don't want that.
I
But-
would love that.
I would be miserable.
I would love that.
You think I'm bad now?
I would love that for you. I would love that for you. I would love that for you.
I would love it more for you because then you'd be stuck with these losers at quarterback. Because all I heard was if Tannehill is healthy. If Tannehill is healthy.
I stand by it. He's healthy. We got to win.
You
This is a
bad.
big- This is a big game.
Can we talk about your Hulk?
You're rooting.
I'm not rooting for. I like Derrick
Come on.
Henry. I don't want you to do that to me. I love Derrick Henry. Don't do that to me. But I am a big fan of telling it how it is.
You are rooting for his demise.
Never. I would never do that. Not to a player I actually like. If it's a player I don't like, then yeah, rooting like Jimmy Garoppolo. I hate Jimmy Garoppolo, and he's on Anthony's team. I'm absolutely rooting for his demise because Anthony deserves it. But Derrick Henry doesn't deserve to go out like that. So I would never do that to Derrick Henry. But he does look old, Mike. He looks like he's hit a wall.
It's been 3 games, and he had. Like I'm looking at his stats right now, Dylan. You're out of your mind. He had a bad game.
He's had many a bad game.
It's been 3 weeks. He had 15 attempts for 63 yards in game 1. He had 25 attempts for 80 yards and a touchdown in game 2. He had 11 attempts for 20 yards in game 3.
You said 25 for 80?
Yes. When we beat the Chargers, who are not who you think they are.
It's 3 yards a carry, Mike.
I'm sorry. Did we win?
No, that's not
Did we
the point
Did we
here.
contribute? Did we contribute?
That's not the point here.
If he
Mike.
gets the ball 25 times at 3 yards carry, I'll take that.
No, but that's not Derrick Henry. That like when I hear Derrick Henry,
So
and
you want
I expect
22.
4.5 yards a carry, 5 yards a carry.
5 yards a carry. It's not happening.
Didn't he average like 4.7 yards per carry in the last 2 years?
Not last year because he was hurt. But
The year before, right?
The year before that was 4.5.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's the fuck I'm saying. Like this is Derrick fucking Henry, your Hulk, right? That's what I
Yeah.
expect out of it. I don't. That's a big drop.
It's a big drop, but it's week 3. Relax.
That's a big
Wow.
drop. But that was only if you look at his
And-
numbers as a whole, it's much less. But
And
that's just for that game.
the Browns are
A good defense.
Right. Let's relax.
Can we talk about before we move on to anything else? A defensive player being in motion, and the Titans also sending 2 tight ends back and forth with him to cause an offensive delay of game. If you're gonna do shit like that, Vrabel's gonna end up fired. Vrabel's gonna end up fired.
He's gonna end up fired because he's gonna come on the field and choke somebody.
I saw that. I was like, Myles Garrett has you guys in a chokehold. Absolute chokehold. He
That's
just like, I'm
true.
going to run this way. I'm going to run this way. And y'all are there's like, come on.
Like at that point, just call a timeout. Like
That was bad. That was one of the worst things I've seen.
this is a big game. We have to beat the Bengals. We have to beat this team.
You do, but I think Joe Burrow might have figured something out at the end of that game. With the Rams. But he's still hurt. He was not looking good in that game at the start.
They're gonna try.
Yeah.
and do things
I love
like
how
this.
Anthony was like, "Oh, he's missing his throws." I'm like, he can't fucking plant his feet. Like, how are you, like you have a calf strain? You got to be so careful on how you plant your feet. You're not gonna be able to throw correctly.
He's gonna dink and dunk. We have
Like,
to
I'm a big proponent of him just not playing. Like, they have a 4-week stretch where they could kind of just coast. Like, it's not like the Titans are world beaters here, right? You could afford to play a backup quarterback against this team and maybe fuck around and win. You got to keep him healthy.
But
And then they have the bye week.
They also could not lose that game to the Rams, though.
They couldn't. They
couldn't
couldn't.
lose that. They couldn't lose that game.
If
So,
they lost, I feel like they would have put Joe Burrow on IR. I don't think they should be winning games. I think they should be punting. Punt the season.
That's ridiculous. Though.
How?
We only went through that team.
That's the only reason. It's you punt the season because you just invested $10 million or $100-something million on your quarterback. That's why you punt the season. You punt the season in order of health, not because you're trying to tank. You do it so your quarterback can be healthy. And I think that's more important long term.
Not when you can win the Super Bowl this year. And they can win the Super Bowl.
Not with this fucking team.
They can win the Super Bowl this year. If Joe Shiesty is what you think he is, they can win that this year.
It doesn't matter how good Joe Shiesty is when he's on his back. Like that offensive line is so bad. Well, I saw Aaron Donald sack him again. I was like, I was so scared. I was so scared for him. He could beat that. He could beat 5 offensive linemen by himself against that team. I was so scared for him when he took that sack. I was like, oh my fucking God, here we go. I'm about to watch another quarterback I'm associated with tear his Achilles live on Monday Night Football.
I was afraid because they were wearing those white jerseys again, which I like.
White out. They do the whole Penn State white out thing. Yeah, I like it.
I like it too, but the last time they did that didn't end well for Tua. So I was like, maybe they should just retire these white jerseys. But
hey, it didn't happen to them.
Exactly. Nothing happened. So
didn't happen to them. I wish sometimes when the teams have when Penn State goes white out, they actually like the whole stadium's like flashing. They have like certain songs that they play to get the crowd going. Like I wish NFL teams had more like traditions, like Wisconsin playing what the fuck House of Pain.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love that. I wish the NFL had more shit like that.
The only one I know is that the Steelers play Renegade, and the Jets have their chant when they score.
Yeah, but that's not really like a thing. It's a thing, but it's not like a real like another tradition that involves like maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Maybe I'm undervaluing the Jet tradition, but like. When it comes to the music part, like the Patriots playing fucking Crazy Train when they run out.
Yeah.
Like, even I hate those fuckers, but like, still cool. They associate a song with their franchise.
Yeah.
Philly having dreams and nightmares, and now fucking this other shit.
I just want to rock. All right, then we got to talk about your favorite topic, Taylor Swift.
Who fucking cares?
Swift.
She sucks.
The world in a tizzy.
I hate Taylor Swift. And Anthony makes me hate Taylor Swift more than I already dislike her.
He makes me not like her. But she was in the box with Mama Kelsey.
They're fucking. That's the longest short of it. They're fucking. That's a long time to be spent with Mama.
Yeah.
They would have had to have met before, because that would have been real awkward just being in a booth with somebody you never met before and be like, oh, I'm linked to be dating your son. I'm going to meet you the first time now.
Yeah, this has been a thing for a little while. We're all just finding out about it. But
her and her cult fandom.
She does have a cult.
The craziest thing is, like, these fucking Taylor Swift fans really went and just bought Travis Kelce jerseys for the sake of buying Travis Kelce jerseys.
Anthony's not here. But I will. That is an impact, though.
That is an impact, but it's not an organic impact that, as a business, you want, right? Because that's gonna fuck up like projections and all sorts of stuff when it comes to like the P&Ls thing, when it comes to your sales and revenue, et cetera, et cetera. So now there's gonna be this random surge that you're gonna have to expect a random increase in sales throughout the year.
I'm sorry. The NBA portion of our program has completed.
So, T Swift as a whole is overrated. But, like,
we can talk about that.
She's mad overrated. But, like, yeah, 400. It's all great. Like, and all these fans trying to watch football, cool. They don't give a fuck about football.
It's going to annoy you even more when NBC shows her every 5 minutes.
Every fucking 2 minutes. I'm going to be so annoyed.
Like, it was already a big deal because I didn't realize until I heard it literally today that Patrick Mahomes has never played in MetLife Stadium.
Never, and no.
I was like, wow, how does that happen? And now...
The last time we played was away.
and now it's his first game in MetLife in New York, and Sunday Night Football. Oh yeah, it's
I love how before we continue with Taylor Swift's bullshit, how Anthony was like, "Oh, what's your guys' home field advantage?" I'm like, "We show up to games. Like, what are we doing here? The Jets have a fan base. The Jets are there, win, lose, suck good. Like, we're here. How are you gonna do that? Like, your arena was filled with terrible towels.
Pittsburgh West.
Remember what I was saying before the game? I was like, "There's a lot of terrible towels there," and he was like, "Oh, he's just exaggerating." I was like, "No, there was a lot of terrible towels there."
Pittsburgh West. That's culture. That's what that was.
Culture, so much so your best wide receiver is talking shit about it in press conferences. But yeah, the fact that Taylor Swift fans are buying 400% like increase in Travis Kelce jerseys just to burn them when they break up is going to be hilarious.
When she tells them to.
Well, she's not gonna. Well, she's gonna write a song. It's gonna say something negative, and they're gonna burn it.
She's gonna subliminally tell them that he's a horrible guy, because that's what she does. She shadow distance.
She's just gonna write a song like, "He thinks he's black." She's like, "I'm not used to this much sauce. Like, I can't do it."
I just.
And Anthony's over here. He was shitting on Brittany Renner, but is over here bigging up fucking Taylor Swift. Body built like a 9-year-old. Get out of here.
Who also, by the way, has a roster also.
35 apparently. Thought it was larger.
I thought it was larger too. I'm not gonna. I don't know if that's being disrespectful, but
I thought it was larger. If it's disrespectful, my bad. But you've been out here in these streets a long time.
Larger than that, but
long time. But hey, she went and trapped PJ Washington. She all right. No, we don't. But yeah, fuck Taylor Swift. Fuck all the Taylor Swift fans. I'm ready for war.
I mean, you can have all this energy for about a quarter and a half.
Huh?
So you can have all this energy for about a quarter and a half, because that's about how long it's going to take the Chiefs to.
Oh yeah, Zach's gonna throw a check down, sack, run the ball, and he's gonna get booed out of the building.
Yeah.
That
because you're not gonna, because they won't boo the defense when the defense gives up 350 yards to Patty.
The problem is the Jets defense get the ball back. That's the thing. Like, if
they don't get turnovers.
No, we don't get turnovers, but we get stops, right? If we get 30 hung on us and we do 8 punts, you're putting the defense out there.
They're gonna blame Zach. They're gonna blame Zach.
You have to score, Mike. You have to score.
30 on y'all, and the offense scores 10. They're gonna blame Zach.
Mike, that Cowboys game, you know how many times we punted?
No.
We punted the ball damn near 9 times. That's 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. The defense was on the field for 40 minutes. You cannot expect the defense to play great if they're fucking tired.
I heard that this defense was supposed to be the Legion of Boom.
No, I don't agree with that at all. But, like, all good defenses, if they have to keep playing, they're going to get gassed. If you can't, on offense, move the ball, and you have a combined time of 14 minutes with the ball in a game, where's the problem?
Maybe you should hand it off to your running back.
That's what makes it even more difficult, Mike, because teams don't respect the pass, so they stack the box. They play single high all game, and they fucking just pressure. It's ridiculous. Zach had time in the pocket this week. That's what's crazy. The week before against Dallas, we had nothing. Zach had the most time to throw, average time to throw per snap in the NFL this week. He had the most time. And he had guys open. He just couldn't pull the trigger. That's the problem here. Like, he goes from pulling the trigger too much to refusing to pull the trigger.
Which is hilarious, because it's what do you want? Because the way watching him play, I can tell that
he's second-guessing himself every single time.
That he doesn't want to throw picks. Because that's all he hears is those picks, too many turnovers, so he doesn't want to throw picks. I'd rather take the sack. And you know Aaron Rodgers, well, that's got Aaron Rodgers written all over it. don't throw the ball away.
No, that has the offense. That Salah's been throwing that at him for 3 years now. It's don't turn over the ball.
Don't throw over the ball. So because
when he turns over the ball, it's a snowball effect where it goes from being a small snowball. It's like, all right, cool, shake it off, go. And then he has another one, and then it gets bigger. And then he has another one, and it gets bigger. It's just a downhill. And the one time we needed him to take a shot, he threw a check down on 4th down. It's like at that point in the game.
Play of the game, I didn't understand
that an interception is better than that. Because if you throw an interception trying to get the first down, you just move them farther back, and you still have like your timeouts and shit, right? You could just do that. Just try to throw the interception at this point. Don't give them the ball closer.
Like Josh Allen's first one against John. When he
just truck it. Who cares?
Dropped it down there. Hope Diggs can catch it.
That's the one of those things where it's like just do that. You're a gunslinger. Just be a gunslinger for this drive, please. But like the 3rd down, getting the safety when he could have had the check down, I will die on that hill that he should have just did the check down.
I don't agree.
But do you know why I say that though?
Yes, we had a 20-minute.
Yeah, we did because I felt like you were looking at me like, okay, who cares? As opposed to giving your punter more space so he can kick, as opposed to dying between the 12th man and the fucking back of the end zone, having it blocked and recovered for a touchdown because you have 3 feet of space. Fuck that. Get the chuck down. Give your punter more space. That's situational awareness. Can't do that. He also Becton got killed on that rep.
Yes.
But they did a great job as a whole. Zach did.
No, Niners. You think the Niners are the best? I think the Dolphins are the best. We don't care about Anthony. Everyone
Giants suck.
Anyone looking for Raz is in Japan. So,
why do you say it like that?
I don't know. Raz is in Japan, and he'll be back in 2 weeks, I believe. 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have anything. Canelo. We gotta pick this fight. Canelo versus Charlo. For my real die-hard boxing fans. Anytime Canelo fights, it's a big deal. But this is this the one with all the belts?
I don't know. Fun fact: I didn't proof watch this, so if there's something nasty in here, we're getting taken down.
Yeah, I'm saying we're gonna get kicked off the air in a few minutes. That's cool. I like Charlo's confidence. I think he can box. I don't think he's ever been hit by anybody that hits as hard as Canelo. This is the one with the belts.
He has not, but if he can withstand the first 6 rounds, he's in it.
Because you think Canelo gassing. Canelo's gonna gas.
Think. We watched that boy last time he fought. That boy was fighting for his life.
Me and Dylan were here like, yo, this is not about to happen right now. Like,
and Canelo almost lost that fight.
It was shaky. It was definitely shaky. Me and Dylan were literally sitting here on the edge of our like, no way this is about to happen right now. But Canelo's got the heart of a champion. And I think Charlo's going to find out that there are levels to this.
Winner of this fights Crawford.
You think so?
Crawford wants the Canelo fight.
I don't like that fight for him.
I love that fight for him.
I saw him in the gym saying he's lifting weights now, but he's going to have to go up like this. He's going to have to go up to 160, 168 to fight Canelo. Canelo is too big for that.
They're about the same size.
I tell you this:
they're really not that far.
If Crawford washes Spence again, which I think he will,
he is. That fight shouldn't be happening.
It'll be closer, but
I don't think so.
It'll be closer because
I'm still mad at myself for changing my prediction from Bud to Spence.
You still owe me for that.
I still owe you, but we're gonna double or nothing at one of these next ones.
You waiting for something?
We're waiting for us to disagree on something, fight wise, for me to double or nothing.
I think it'll be closer, but I think he'll win again. if he beats Spence and then moves up and beats Canelo, I'm gonna legitimately have to be like, yo, he's the best
He's
fighter
got
of this era.
Yeah.
Like that puts him in Floyd, like Floyd, De La Hoya, Shane Mosley. Like that
That's
puts
rarefied
him
air,
in,
man.
that puts him in there.
I don't think Canelo wants that fight.
Because it doesn't mean anything.
He gains
Canelo
nothing from it.
Yeah, Canelo doesn't get anything from that fight.
Unless
I mean, it's another Hall of
fucking
Famer.
mess. Then it's
Another
like,
Hall of
okay,
Famer.
he put out a fucking dog, but I don't think he wants that fight.
I don't think because from what I read, I get it because he's a champion. Canelo still wants that light heavyweight dude that beat him. He wants to get his lick back. I don't think that's the right fight for him because that dude, I think it's just physically he's just too much. But Canelo apparently wants that, so we'll see. I think Canelo wins. I don't think he stops Charlo, but I think he knocks him down. I think he'll get a knockdown.
Yeah, I think that's safe. This is gonna go decision.
I think this is going to go to decision.
Unless, again, if Charlo could withstand the early barrage of Canelo and the heavy strikes early, and he gets him past round 6 and he gets to do his thing, we can have a real fight. We have a real fight. Because Charlo's fucking good. Charlo's real good. Janice's brother made a good point here. I think he's like, I think Canelo's fighting the wrong Charlo brother.
He is. I was very upset when I said he was fighting this one because I wanted him to fight the older one because the older one.
He was like, if Canelo
would
have the other one, I'd be picking him.
I would be picking the older one too. Actually,
yep.
I would be picking the older one because he's very good. He has a very good jab and he hits hard. I would absolutely be picking the other Charlo brother, but Canelo's got good people. He knows what to do. So,
and Jamel Charlo's not a fucking pushover.
No,
it's just he's not. I don't think he's the one.
I more than likely this fight will be a 116, 112, 117, 111-ish.
Unless he can put together those later rounds.
Yeah, no, he's not going to get. He's not going
to get washed.
He's not going to lose as bad as Spence did. I can tell you that. He ain't going to lose that bad. That's how sad it is. That is now the bar. That is the bar now. That's how badly he got beat up. That's the bar.
Let me tell you how fun it was doing that, live soy fight club.
Again, thank you. My drive home from the concert was fun.
That's why I can't wait for another one of these because I want to do that again. And that was so much fun. That was so much fun, like calling a fight. That was fantastic.
Calling a fight would be so fun.
That was so much fun. Like I literally had both the Spence fight and the UFC stuff at the same time, going back and forth, calling the rounds, and I'm just like, holy shit, this is bad.
You was like, he is beating Spence's ass. Right
He is
now.
beating the dog shit out of Errol Spence right now.
I was just like, I can't believe what I'm hearing right now. Let me get out of this traffic. Because what?
The dog shit out of him. That's why it's like, I really don't want Spence to take that fight. Like, don't do it again. Like, what are you have nothing you could do is going to, the only way you could redeem yourself is if you knock him out.
He has to.
You have to knock him out.
Crawford out.
Because he got the dog shit kicked out of him. Like, you can't just go in there and just beat him in a fight. You have to beat the shit out of him.
Like, if you go in there and you just win a close decision, that don't mean nothing.
No, you still stink. So you stink.
Crawford just had a bad night. That's what.
Yeah, it's like, boo, you didn't knock him out. You still suck. That's all that's going to be.
He knocked you down 3 times. You didn't knock him down. You stink.
He was dropping you with jabs. Boo. Boo. I don't want to say away. And have you seen the since we're talking boxing, the Ngannou sparring footage?
No.
Well,
you have it. Is it going to take you long to get it?
I don't think so.
I would say, can I take a commercial break? Even though we're about to wrap up in a minute.
We're about to wrap up, so let's play this really quick, and then we'll move on.
Nah. I mean, Ngannou is a monster, so I'm not surprised at how that looks. But my God, he's moving in slow mo. Mike is punching faster than him.
That's my point. That's what I wanted you to see, Michael. Thank you. Mike Tyson at fucking 60 something years old, or however the fuck old he is punching faster than a heavyweight fighter, Francis Ngannou. Tyson Fury is going to body bag this man.
Dylan, what have I been saying since they signed
I've already said he was going to body
beat
bag him.
in 3 rounds, 4 rounds at the most.
Tyson is too fast.
He's never going to hit Tyson. Tyson's going to destroy him. He has to pray that he lands some kind of Hail Mary.
He has to do a spirit bomb into his fist.
A la Rockman against Lennox Lewis.
Yeah.
Like, that
He's
is
gotta
the
sit
only
there
way he wins this fight.
And put his hand out for energy from all the energy in the world, go into his fist, and just punch him once. And hopefully he just doesn't get up. Fury's going to beat that dog shit out of him.
And laugh at him.
And then sing. He's going to beat the shit out of him and then sing. In front of the whole crowd in Saudi Arabia.
Terrible.
I wanted you to see that because I wanted you to see what Mike Tyson did there.
I caught it immediately.
Hold on, I got another one for you. Since we're on the topic of boxing, fuck it. I mean, his form is dog shit. That's the problem here.
His form is dog shit. But if he lands that body, I wouldn't want to get hit in the ribs by Ngannou. That's a little better.
It's better, but it's not what I'm looking for when you're going into a fight against Tyson Fury.
Also, that man is standing right in front of him. Tyson's
not moving, not doing nothing, just sitting there holding the pads, just let him rock. Let him rock. He's in trouble. I don't know why he wanted to do this. Obviously, I know why he wanted to do this, but Tyson Fury's gonna beat the shit out of him.
Wash him in 4 rounds.
I'll put that bet on FanDuel. That bet inside 5.
Pack him up quick.
Tyson Fury, body of the fucking plumber, gonna wash this man.
All right, I'm gonna let you do fantasy focus. Josh Thomas Fantasy Football League. While I step out for a second, let me know.
All right.
And then I will be right back. Let you update the masses because we got a big matchup next week.
We do. All right, let me pull it up. All right, folks. Josh Thomas Fantasy League updates. All is right in the world. I have beaten that piece of shit, Steven Barreto, in the annual Barreto Bowl that we have. As you can see, the standings go as followed. I am in 4th place currently. V is in 1st. Blackheart is in 2nd. Oh, my battery die again. Blackheart's in 2nd. Anthony's in 3rd. I'm in 4th. Darius is in 5th. The official barber of the Speak On It podcast, Mario, is in 6th. Roz is in 7th. Big Mike, defending champ, is in 8th place. Piece of shit, Steven Barreto, is in 9th place. And the sponsor of Fantasy Focus, Mike Ortiz, is in last place. So we have a marquee matchup this week where Anthony and I are going head to head. So my team has the most points scored in the league. And Anthony, if you would have played me 3 weeks in a row, would be 1-2. If we're doing that. But Anthony likes to Anthony doesn't like to look at it that way. He just likes to look that he hasn't lost. And I look at it as you're about to get wrecked because the Chiefs are going to roll into Sunday Night Football and just drop 90 on us. So,
But the grudge match of all grudge matches.
this is it. So I can finally shut his ass up with I've been dog walking Dylan all last year. You did it.
All last year, he just
You did it.
beat you.
I love that he is playing Josh Jacobs. Good luck, Mr. 1.9 yards per carry. As long as my guys stay healthy and don't miss any more time, I'm good. However, I am thinking about not playing Garrett Wilson.
I'm starting to think I have him in a couple of my other leagues, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to consider it.
Because I like everybody else but Garrett Wilson in my lineup right now. But we both have a Dolphin on our team. So that's what's going to be interesting here. Because I don't think Tyreek is going to do like 300 yards against the Bills defense. But something the Bills don't do well is stop the run. And I have a guy.
You have a guy.
He brought a shovel to the Bretto Bowl. He brought a shovel to the Bretto Bowl. But another matchup that scares me is Mike Evans and the Saints.
Yeah, because Mike Evans just forgets how to play football.
Mike Evans, whenever he gets around Marshawn Lattimore, Marshawn Lattimore uses confused. And Marshawn Lattimore gets the ducks around him.
Oh, he's confused. He hurt himself.
Mike Evans hurt himself in confusion. That's it. It's just the status there. That's all Mike Evans. I'm hoping he remembers how to play football because I need him. I need him. And I need Aaron Jones to play.
I need Aaron Jones to play also. Killing my other teams. I had Aaron Jones and Chubb on one of my teams. So you can imagine decimated by injury. I need him to
Look at this
play.
loser sitting on Anthony's bench. Look at that loser. You can't even see the field.
You gotta have one.
Gotta have one. Loser. But yeah, that's the marquee matchup of the week there, people.
It is. Did
Who
you
else
do
we got?
the projection? Who's in last? Well, I know who's in last place.
We all know who's in last place.
And it's not. And unfortunately, I have to keep it going because I need a win. So.
You are in a tough spot, Mike.
Well, no, I'm gonna beat Ortiz.
You need to win. That's what I'm saying. You're in a tough spot because you can't really afford to lose anymore.
No. I need to get 2-3 in a row.
Who do you have this week?
I have Ortiz.
It's the Suck Bowl.
Don't play me like that.
Anthony only has one more win than me. You only have one more win than him.
And just the same. I've just had bad luck.
You did have some bad luck.
I've just had bad luck.
Kirk Cousins against Carolina is gonna be a great pick.
Listen, we out here.
Unfortunately, no tight ends matter unless you're the Laporta from the Lions or Travis Kelce. But man, you have Kadarius Toney. I'm so sorry. I think Waddle's playing.
He's basically Waddle is going to play.
Who is bitch brother got? Where is your? Oh, yes, yes. He's facing V. He's projected to lose. So let's keep it going. What's their matchup look like? Oh, he's gonna play Joe. Oh, he's gonna play Joe Burrow against Titans. He sat Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase last week.
I've got a 15% chance to make the playoffs right now. Not looking good. Not looking good.
Where do I go? Is the scoring leader league?
53% for you. Anthony's got a 70%.
until he loses.
So,
Which once I put him out of his misery, that'll go down. Yeah, I'm right now. Since I'm projected to finish third, and who's? It looks like V is projected to go first. Mike is 10.
not good. Not,
He's not moving. That is not moving.
not going anywhere. I've fallen to 8.
My brother has fallen to 9. He's in some bad times. Dark times in the Bretto family. Not over here though. We're good over here. We just beat the shit out of that bitch.
Anthony's second right now. The Revenge Tour. Stay tuned.
Revenge tour. Ain't nobody fucking worried about Anthony. That's the thing here. I should be 3-0, but I got fucked by what's it called? Score adjustments.
Oh.
I lost by 0.9. They took away a point from the Steelers defense.
You lost.
That's so bullshit. They took a point away from the Steelers defense. I should be 3-0 right now. The highest scored game of the fucking year. Followed by me outscoring everybody again this year. I need to show. Let's go to the standings really quick. I just want to show everybody the points for. Look at me just outscoring fucking everyone. Oh, my shit's not even on.
Good job.
Good job, producer.
It's all right. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't even know why we're still on.
466. Everybody else sucks. Anthony, you suck. Fuck you, Anthony. All right. That's all I got.
So you got?
That's all I got.
All right.
A big fuck you to Anthony.
Let's finish it off. No, I'm him.
Ooh, I'm him. I prepared everything else but an I'm him. Huh. Do you have an I'm him to go first while I figure my life out?
Yes, I have a I'm him and I have a I'm her.
Go ahead.
I'm her is Jay Cargill.
Fuck you. Damn it.
Being the number one trend on Twitter for signing with WWE and setting Twitter on fire. Can't wait. Black women doing big things. Love it. Love it here. Can't wait for her, Bianca. As long as they don't try to make her ghetto or ratchet, I'm happy. Go get your bag, Jade Cargill. Go get that bag. And my I'm him is actually Dame Lillard. This is what you wanted.
I was thinking about it.
This is what you wanted, Dame. You got it. You didn't. You showed James Harden. You don't have to be an asshole to get this stuff done. Because I don't think Dame would have not shown or not play. I just don't think he's built like that. I just don't think Dame's built like that.
You also just hate James Harden.
I do, but I don't think Dame was built that way. So kudos to the good guys getting something done, and he got traded to the best team in the league, record-wise last year. So shout out to him. He's him this week, and Jay Cargill is her.
I'm going to do a him and a her as well. We're going to do for I'm her, Brianna Stewart. Stewie, 2-time MVP, first Liberty MVP. And for I'm him, I'm going to go with the nerd in Miami. We're going to go with Mike McDaniel. The black nerd, the black guy. You guys remember that when he got hired?
Yeah.
How he was a black head coach?
Yeah.
Everyone was like, what?
Black?
He's like, yeah, I'm black.
I still don't think people realize he's black.
Yeah.
I still don't think people know that. Yes, that is a black man.
So shout out to the black head coach of the Miami Dolphins, Mike McDaniel, the nerd, the dork. I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Whose offense just scored again on Sean Payton's defense.
It's now the score is now 200-20.
Yes.
Mike McDaniel's a good dude. He has a great story about overcoming alcoholism and finding his way back into the NFL. But he may be in my division, and it's always fuck the Dolphins, but I show respect where respect is due. Even though I'm told by Anthony I'm just a hater on the teams in my division.
your hate for the Dolphins for the Patriots is right.
Mac sucks.
Doesn't matter who's on that team. You think they suck.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. I never said Tom Brady sucks.
You hate them.
I hate him. He could. Let me not. Let me not.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
That might be your quarterback. Still whistling the prayer.
No, I'll fucking. Let me stop. I have to stop myself from saying things sometimes.
So yeah, let's wrap it up. It's just the two of us. I'll just put your underlay here.
_ podcast Poppy _ Thank you for listening. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you.
Yes, I echo the same. Follow me on all the socials. I am MBJ. All the socials. We're out of here. We'll be back next week. Unless something else crazy happens like that, we'll be live. We're trying to space out these live episodes, but this was fun tonight.
Charlo Canelo's this weekend, right?
Yes.
You're gonna be away.
You're supposed to be.
I know, but I can be home to be live for Soy Fight Club.
Well, we'll see how Saturday.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how Saturday plays out. There's things happening out there. If you're watching this, it's 1 o'clock local time here, so it's officially my birthday.
Go Jets.
Yes, go Jets. I'm out. Thank you everyone for watching. Wherever you get your podcasts, we're there. Like, share, subscribe. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Twitch. We're on all of it. Thank you for watching us, and we're out of here. I'm going to bed. Good night.